Saturday game between St Kilda and the Dogs. I'm waiting for the fucking game to start. I don't know which channel it's on. I think it's on Fox Footy. I don't know if it's on 503 or Fox Footy. We soon shall see. Was there any? I don't think there was any late changes in this game. Yeah, so no late changes. Subs are Rory McComb for the Bulldogs and Winghager for the Saints. Yeah, alright, we got it now. Fucking, excuse me. So other game is also starting today. There was a late change in the Fremantle North Melbourne game. Nat Fyfe is out. Just quickly check who that one was for. Sub is, I think, Walters came in that game. So yes, Amos was in. Subs are Michael Walters for the Dockers and Daniel Howe for North Melbourne. So Saints ins for tonight were Ross in for Bytel, sub is Windhager, and also Webster was out for the Saints. And the ins for the Bulldogs was Crozier, West, and Garcia for Trelaw, Johannesson, and Hannon, as well as Lobb. Game has begun now. Ball goes down. In the middle, English and Marshall. Be a good contest tonight. McRae gets a nice handball out. Looks like it'll be gathered by Marshall. He does well in the end. Gets down. Good smother of the handball there from English. And Steele gets on the ground. Does well. Gresham almost gets the clearance. Still haven't really got a clearance yet. Gets thumped forward by Marshall brilliantly in the line of Gresham. He goes inside the forward 50. And Liam Jones can't take the muck. He falls to ground. Gets it out wide. Kaminti. Now it's over the top from Hill. Now Philippou to kick the first goal for the Saints. And he nails it. Great start to the Saints. Philippou gets the first goal. And the Saints looking good early. Great goal from the young man. Played well last week in his debut. And hasn't stopped playing well from all signs here. Great start from the Saints. They lead 1 straight 6 to the Bulldogs yet to score. That was a great effort there. The Saints just pushed that forward then. Had no real pressure on them. To be honest, all they did was just push the ball forward and an easy goal out the back there from Philippou gets the Saints on the board. All they had to do there was surge that forward, then the Saints, that's all they did. They brought it to ground. Kaminti did well on the ground, gave it off to Hill. Hill little handball over to Philippou, got a nice bounce and kicked an easy goal. And gets the Saints on the run. Marshall knocks it down. Can't gather either team, but Gresham somehow gets a handle on it. Gets it off to Ross, back in the team this week. Kicks it forward. Up goes Kaminti. He almost gets pushed in the back. The umpire doesn't see it that way. Back goes Crozier, but it looks like it's going to be a turnover here. Wood runs onto it. Can't get onto his left foot, but gives off the handball. Now, off the side of the boot from Owens. He kicks it! And the Saints, 2 on the trot in quick succession. They're looking good early. And the Bulldogs have hardly touched it so far. So 2 of the young guns for the Saints are on the board early. Great finish from Mitch Owens. Had a good start to his career last season. Had a little bit of injury concern midway through the year. But he looked good there. Just got it on the ground there, the Saints. They're just playing some surge football at the moment. Just get it forward and get their young guys to get onto it. And the midfield of the Saints, probably their most experienced line out of the whole lineup, considering all the injuries. But they just did so well here up forward. The pressure was well. Looked good, and Ross Lyon will be happy with that performance so far. So back in the middle now. Marshall can't get the tap. Free kick will go to Marshall, though. So the Saints, with another clearance out of the middle here, will go to Marshall. He's got Brad Crouch giving you a little bit of a run. Decides to give off the handball. Not a very good one. But now Marshall can kick it forward. Not a very good kick, and will fall in the hands of... Who's that? 28. Fucking for the Bulldogs. Fucking hell. Oh, Anthony Scott. Jesus Christ. So long goes down the kick. Darcy can't take the mark. Looks like Arcia will get onto it. Good tackle, though. Takes him over there. Liam Stocker. Had a good game last week for the Saints. So on centre wing on the commentary side of Etihad, Marvel Stadium, sorry. The Saints have looked good early. It's only been a minute and a half into this first quarter, and they've already kicked 2 goals. In the ruck again, Marshall does very nicely. Gets the clearance himself, cut off by Bailey Dale. So Dale at half back now for the Bulldogs. Hasn't got many options. Who will win? Noah? I've picked the Bulldogs, but not a very good start by any means. St Kilda have started brilliantly here. So out the back now, Bruce goes off to Jones. He got injured early last week and didn't play the rest of the game. So he finds Crozier. Haven't really moved forward much here, the Bulldogs, but they've gone from one wing to another. And now Crozier will go down the wing. It's a pretty bad kick, to be honest. Turns straight over to Jack Steele. So the Saints have really pressured up early in this game. So now Jack Steele goes inside the forward 50 now. Not the best kick. Looks like it'll be a straight back turnover to Josh Bruce. Former Saint. Gets a few boos, not too many to speak of. But now Josh Bruce is playing in the back half this year for the Bulldogs. He goes across the ground. Finds Crozier. Crozier goes over the top. It's actually a good kick. Finds Scott. So, basically have not gone past in the front half so far, the Bulldogs. They've been dominated so far. Short kick to Crozier. Doesn't even make the distance. He goes in short. Tries to find Bontempelli and misses him completely, Crozier. Now it's caught up by Duray. He could be gone here. No, umpire calls for it. Very sloppy start from the Bulldogs at the moment. Very sloppy start. This team was supposed to be competing for almost a premiership this season with the lineup they've got. And the first first 3 minutes of this game aren't that good. Bontempelli will get the clearance though. Brad Hill tries to take him down from behind. Bontempelli does get the kick away inside the forward 50. Out the back, Darcy and Battle. Battle takes the ball, take it to the line. Did very well. Good tackle from Darcy. So forward pocket now. First entrance inside the forward 50 for the Bulldogs. So Rory Lobb was out of this team this week. So they're playing with a slightly smaller forward line. But they've still got the likes of Norton, Ugle-Hagan and Darcy up forward. So a very tall forward line, still the Bulldogs. But they looked slow last week. Ugle-Hagan tries to get the clearance, get tackled by 2 dogs, but he's been held. Umpire, was given a free kick to the Saints. It's play on. Now the Saints work through the middle of the ground. They've got some space now. Great kick. He finds Philippou all on his own, about 65 metres out from goal. He drives it long. Pretty poor kick from Philippou. And he kicks it straight to Jones. Yeah, I don't know about that from Philippou. He kicked it long. Thoughts on the Saints' 150-year logo? Yeah, I don't mind it, to be honest. I don't think they really did much with it, did they? Didn't they just put the ribbons down the bottom and put a 150 on it? It's not bad. I like their Guernsey, though, tonight. Good play there from Stocker. Locks him up. Now Norton works it back. Williams kicks it long down the outer wing. It's not a bad kick. Ugle-Hagan gets his arms up. Can't take the mark. Goes out of bounds. Just to the forward-hand side. Outer side here for the Bulldogs. So the Saints lead 2 goals. They've started off well. Philippou and Christ, the other girl. Can't even remember now. Doesn't matter. Owens, that's the other one. So free kick will go to the Saints, it looks like here. And Marshall will get another free kick. He's already had, this is his second one of the game. He's done pretty well on the ruck in the first 5 minutes. So the Saints, while they've got the momentum, could definitely use the first couple of easy goals. They could probably use a couple more here. Put some real pressure on the Bulldogs. Up goes Kaminsky with a great mark. He wheels around on the right, goes long inside the forward 50. It's Philippou against 2, and Higgins decided not to go up. Easy mark to Crozier. So now the Bulldogs are working out from the back, and they need to start doing some... Need to start putting a little bit of pressure here on the Saints. So now Bailey Smith has the ball. And going short, turns it completely over. Shocking kick by Bailey Smith. Ross will kick it over the top now, and an easy mark to Jade Gresham. Bailey Smith, absolute shocking turnover. He had a short 15-metre kick in front of him, and he came off the side of the boot. And now the Saints will line up right in the pocket here for Jade Gresham. On the right-hand side, so good for a left footer. So kick the first 3 goals of the game. The Saints, if he nails this, comes around the body, snaps on goal. Gresham gets there, and the Saints have the first 3 goals of the game. Great start from the Saints. Poor start from the Bulldogs. They just look like they haven't even shown up yet. Easy as you like. The scores are 3-0, 18 to the Saints. The Bulldogs yet to score. Poor start. So Jay Gresham gets the goal, causes the turnover there. Poor play from the Bulldogs. This team wants to be competing for finals, and that's a shocking kick. He tried to hit, he tried to hit Dre up short, like a 10-metre kick. Missed him completely, and then just turned over a goal. Saints kicking straight. Yeah, that's a miracle, isn't it? They've kicked 3 straight so far. Back in the middle now. English knocks it down to Smith. But now Steele gets the turnover. Does well. Now the Saints kick it forward now. Crozier goes up. Can't take the mark. Gresham's given away the free kick though. So Crozier out of the back half now. So now Crozier will work it forward now across the wing. Toby McLean does very well. Gets taken down from behind. Played onto the call. Umpire actually didn't... I probably don't think that's a good decision. Wasn't actually tackled. So now Sinclair. Patton. It's got some time. Gets tackled well by Smith. Gets the kick away. Daniel drops it. Has time to gather though. Over to Daniel. Now he's pinned on the ball. Bailey Dale. And great work from Butler. He'll get the free kick. Kicks it out wide. Now the Saints can move forward. Brad Hill gives off the handball. Now kicks it inside the forward 50 here. Hunter Clark. And just roll out of bounds. Zane Cordy's gone up forward for the Saints tonight. I don't know about that. But played a bit of his career up forward for the Bulldogs. So we'll see how he goes. He's never really been a good forward though. English uncontested in the mark. Kicks it out of there. Good kick in the end. And now they can work it through. Bontempelli now through the middle of the ground. Kicks it out wide. It's actually a pretty decent kick. Great mark from Baker. So Oscar Baker, former Demon, had a pretty good game last week on debut for the Bulldogs. Now Keith has a kick inside the forward 50. Bontempelli can't get there. Grabs his head, but the umpire says nothing doing. And the Saints will rebound. But a poor kick out turns it over. Damn, the Saints are good. Well, they've started well here. Bontempelli's still going up. He looks okay. He's just a little bit dazed at the moment. Actually, he may have to come off for a head check now, Bontempelli. Keith goes inside the forward 50. Not a good kick. Norton, he didn't get first hands on that. He's given off the handball. Oh, that's a shocking decision from the umpire. The Saints player got first hands on that ball. Norton gets on the rebound, takes the umpire calls a mark. And then after that, oh, Jesus. And then Norton doesn't think he's taking the mark, so he handballs it away and the umpire calls it back. Oh, that's a terrible decision. But nonetheless, Norton will come in 20 metres out. Bit of an angle. Oh, he's missed. Well, that's the footy gods talking there, because that didn't deserve to be a kick at goal there for the Bulldogs. First score of the night, though, for the Bulldogs. They won behind to the Saints 18. So now they work out through the back to Dougal Howard. Works it out wide. So now Battle. Kicks it down the wing. Good kick. Oh, Hunter Clark should have marked it though. Really had no pressure on him. Gets back onto it though. Does well. Now Wood over the top to Sinclair. Now they work it back. So Hunter Clark grabs this one. Kicks it forward. Great kick. He finds Zane Cordy. So Cordy back on the right. Kicks it long inside the forward 50 to Kaminti. Can't take the mark. Good spoil. Great pick up there on the ground there from Butler. The 1-2 Marshall almost threw that. Umpire calls play on. Butler working in a phone box. Does brilliantly. Kicks forward up to the top of the goal square. But Keith gets back brilliantly. Does well for the Bulldogs. So goes in short into the back pocket. Finds Bruce. Bruce gives over the handball to Dale. And now the Bulldogs can work through the back half here. So now they work it off up the ground there from Baker. Not the best kick though. Turned over to Sinclair. Sinclair goes inboard. Hunter Clark does take the mark. I think it was left for Ross, but now Wangani Malira gets onto it for the Saints. Gives off the handballs. Jack Sinclair's had a few touches early in this game. Goes inside the forward 50. Crozier gets across, does well, and thumps it out of bounds. So the Bulldogs are under siege at the moment. They just can't get the ball forward. They can't find the footy at the moment. Bontempelli looks still a little bit out of it. To be honest, they may have to take him off. English gets taken out of the ruck. He falls to ground. Nothing doing. The ball just rolls around here and English gets taken to the ground. So 11 minutes to go in this first term. St Kilda have kicked the first 3 goals and they've looked the better of the two sides by a country mile, really. English in the ruck knocks it down to Liberatore. He threw that. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Ross out of the pack. Goes into the forward pocket in the air. Creef can't take the mark. It goes out of bounds. Forward pocket here. Be another throw in. Oh. So Liam Jones has got a knee to the head a couple of minutes. This is early in the game. So I don't know if he's come off just yet. Cordy almost got him high. McRae gets taken straight to ground. Be another ball up. This is about the 4th or 5th stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Saints. Umpire throws it up again. English gets the tap. Not a very good one, though. Crouch gets onto it. Can't get the handball out. Liberatore. Handballs it towards the boundary line. Won't go out. Owens from the pocket. Kicks into Bruce's knee, and it will be a boundary throw in again. Again, the same outer forward pocket here for the Saints. I think the Saints kind of need to capitalise with a goal here. Now, Cordy knocks it down. Gets it back off the rebound. English tackles him well, and it'll be another stoppage. I wouldn't be surprised if the umpire calls a silly decision here. So, again, English knocks it down. He's had a few taps early. Only gets out to Ross, though. He snaps it around the body inside the forward 50. Up goes Philippou. He can't take the mark. Now Bruce gets down. Higgins gets down lower, though. Handball only goes as far as Daniel. Now Owens gets in there. Gets it stolen from him by a teammate in Kaminti. And now he tackles Keith to the ground. Another ball up. Saints have had so many forward stoppages early in this game. Jesus. So now we're balling it up again. Zane Cordy gets up. Probably got the tap that time. Owens tackles onto him and another forward stoppage. Jesus Christ. Umpire should just call the spread a little bit. He won't though. Throws it straight back up again. Gets held there, Zane Cordy. Nothing doing. Liberatore gets the clearance and finally they're outside of their defensive 50. Garcia gets onto it. Shows a little bit of pace on Brad Hill. Kicks it down the wing, but it looks like it'll be a turnover. Battle. Can't gather though. Bontempelli does well. Loses his feet though. Patton gets onto it, does brilliantly. And now the Saints can go on the rebound here. Marshall goes over the top to Sinclair. Gets it smothered though. And now McRae's being taken high. Umpire doesn't see it that way. He gets taken to ground and the umpire will ball it up. So for all that, we're going to be caught on the centre wing. North are beating Fremantle. Well, I think North make the top 4. I mean, they're in the 8 at the moment. I mean, they're in the 8 at the end of round 1. Clearly I'm joking, but if Fremantle lose that, it's fucking trash. Butler gets taken down, almost tripped. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Now McRae back to Edwards. That's not Edwards. Richards. Fucking hell. Ed Richards. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to get the names. I think I know most of them. Stocker works it back. Now Hugo Hagen does brilliantly, but battles hard. Now Riley West tries to knock it off the ground. Nothing doing. Now Steele. Cool, calm and collected. Over to Dougal Howard, who tight ropes the line and gets it to Brad Hill. And kicks it inside. It's a great kick. Now the Saints can go through Ross. He kicks it inside the forward 50 with a high one. Keith is not even looking at it. Higgins almost gets onto it, but it just bounces in front of Bruce, who takes his time. Kicks it, but turns it over immediately. Now Mason Wood can kick it inside the forward 50 with a brilliant left foot kick and finds Kaminzi in the forward pocket. So the Bulldogs could go down by 4 early in this game and probably deserve to be further in front here, the Saints. They've dominated early in this game. The Bulldogs still don't look like they've woken up here. So Kaminzi, to kick his first of tonight, takes a few deep breaths, comes around on the right boot, snaps towards goal, and it's too skinny. So first blemish of the game here for the Saints. Lead by 18 points. So now the Bulldogs working through the back half now. Dale goes with the long kick up the wing. Scott gets his hands to it. Can't bring it down though. Does well on the ground though. Gets it off to Ugle-Hagan. Now off to Smith. So now Daniel's got some time. Back handball. Oh, they're working in a phone box here, the Bulldogs. Don't know if they're going to be able to get out of there, but they find a way. Now Jure gets the kick forward. Beautiful kick. Oh, Ugle-Hagan can't get down. Great tackle by Battle. Brings him down. Great play. Gets out the handball to steal. Now, pretty poor handball there from Stocker. Scott will get out there and roll out of bounds. Centre wing here on the commentary side. So a great start from the Saints. The Bulldogs starting to get into it in the last few minutes. I don't know why they're talking about Riley West putting in a bump. I mean, it's football. I mean, whoop-de-doo. But anyway, on the commentary. This is why you got to listen to me more, guys. Anyway, out comes the clearance here from McRae. Comes straight through the forward of the stoppage. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Gets pushed out of it there, Dougal Howard. But Bontempelli gets away with that. Wilkie over the top. Wanganeen Malira has some space. And a great kick out. Oh, great spoil from Darcy. Ross gets on the ground, does well. He's looked good early in this game, Seb Ross. He kicks it there long down the wing. Goes up high. Keith goes up. Can't get there. Great work on the ground here from the Saints. Gets tackled without the football there, Owens, but they take the advantage. Kaminzi with a bit of pace for the big man. Kicks it long to Brad Hill, not the best kick. Oh, Ed Richards leaves it behind. Brad Hill leaves it behind. Now it's on the ground. That's a throw. That's a scooping throw there from Richards. That's a free kick to the Saints in the pocket. It will go to, I think, Brad Hill. Poor play from Ed Richards. Let it get out behind and then gave away the free kick to make it even worse. It will go to Brad Hill, this free kick in the pocket. So it's about 40 metres out. Tough angle here for Brad Hill, especially for a right footer. But the Saints kind of need to capitalise here. Only a 3-goal lead at this stage. They need to be higher. Great kick inside. Improves the angle nicely. And he finds his captain in Jack Steele. Good kick. Probably one of the best last week there for the Saints, Jack Steele. It's hard to find their best player because so many of them had such great performances. But now Jack Steele. To become an S-tier player in the competition, I think, to challenge for a Brownlow medal, because I think Jack Steele's that good. He needs to start kicking some goals and putting some pressure on the scoreboard. He can start tonight with a goal. He comes in, dead straight. Umpire does not move, and the Saints get their 4th of the first quarter. Brilliant start from the Saints tonight. And the Bulldogs have been caught napping early. So the Bulldogs caught sleeping early. It looks like they were just going to come in and win this game, they're thinking, but they got a bit of a challenge on their hand. Meanwhile, in the other game, North Melbourne leads 7-3, so if Fremantle kick straight, they'd actually be in front, but Fremantle not the best kicking side in the comp. But a poor start in the middle here from the big Western Bulldogs midfielders. Treloar was out tonight, even though he was probably their best performer last week, Adam Treloar. But Bontempelli's been knocked around a bit early. Bailey Smith can't get near it. Probably McRae's been the best out of all of them. Speaking of Bailey Smith, he gets the clearance long inside the forward 50. Ugle-Hagan can't get there. Hits the ground. He drops the ball on the ground, though. Darcy tries to gather. Great tackle from Stocker. Takes him over the line. Great work from the Saints. Just takes him straight out of bounds. You were only one in the tipping comp to tip the Saints? Well, you could be right at this moment. I tipped the Bulldogs, but, you know, I'm a bit of a moron, so I'm not good at tipping. I'm better at AFL, a little bit better at AFL fantasy. I haven't done well this week so far. Taken high there, Jack Steele. Umpire does not call that one. So it'll be another stoppage inside the forward 50 here for the Bulldogs. So Sam Darcy looks like to be taking the ruck inside the forward 50. It looks like Tim English will be standing outside the 50 for a rebound kick. Now out of the clearance, Tom Liberatore tries to get the kick away. Kicks it more further up than forward. But it will bounce quickly here for West. He can't gather though. Fumbles it 3 or 4 times. Now taps it out to Smith. Smith has some time. Gives it over the top to Liberatore. A little bit too Hollywood there from the Bulldogs. And now Crouch will get the ball. Over the top to Seb Ross. He kicks it down the wing. It's actually a pretty nice kick. Higgins can't gather. And it will go out of bounds. Out of side here. The Bulldogs, 5 minutes to go in this first term. And they've only scored 1 behind. Bontempelli and Norton are the 2 players on the bench at the moment for the Bulldogs. Unbelievable they're not still out there. Surely Norton's fine. I mean, he's not injured. I don't know why he'd need to be on the bench. I mean, he's a full forward. Don't think he needs to be on the bench at this stage of the game. But now from the clearance, Caleb Daniel gives it off to Bailey Williams. He kicks it long, about 60 metres out from goal. Wanganeen Malira goes up for the Saints. And easy as you like, uncontested mark. Pretty poor kick in the end there from the Bulldogs, and no tall men were there. Wanganeen Malira down the wing. Not the best kick. Trickles forward in front of Cordy. Or I guess tackled by 2 Bulldogs there, Seb Ross. Almost high, but close enough to the boundary. Won't go out, so it'll be a stoppage. About a metre out from the boundary line. 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go in this first term. Saints definitely be the better of 2 sides. He gets taken high there, Marshall. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Crouch kicks it out of the stoppage. Good play. The Saints work well on the ground. Great take on the ground there from Cordy. Gets it inside. Phillip, who eventually gets onto it, gives it off to his captain in Steele. He kicks it inside 50 with a mongrel punt. Not the best kick at all, and it'll be a turnover. Dre on the last line of defence for the Bulldogs. Goes in short to find Crozier. Hasn't got too many options. Looks like Toby McLean and Anthony Scott are his best options on the wing. He goes to that pack. Wanganeen Malira does well on the ground. Almost takes it there, McLean. But then lands on top of it there, Sinclair. Riley West finds a way out of there. Good tackle there by the Saints players on Bailey Dale, and the umpire calls for it. So kicked out of the stoppage there for the Bulldogs. Goes towards the centre wing. Wanganeen Malira puts a good tackle on Bailey Smith. McLean somehow gets it out of there. Anthony Scott gets a small handball out, but only as far as Darcy. He dives on top of it. Crouch, good tackle. And now the Saints can move. Butler kicks it forward, but just a straight turnover again. It only goes as far as Alex Keith. Short kick back to Josh Bruce, but he misses the kick again. And now he's got some problems here, Josh Bruce. Gives over the handball to Dre. Marshall chases him down. Can't hold the tackle, though. That was unfortunate. Gets the kick away outside. And now the Bulldogs can move. Good, decent kick in the end. He finds Oscar Baker out on the outer wing. He kicks it forward, but straight to a Saints player. Straight to Jack Sinclair. The only problem the Saints have had in this first quarter is they haven't put it on the scoreboard too much. 4 goals is an understatement, to say the least. They've dominated this first term. But now Wanganeen Malira goes through the middle of the ground. Nice little chip kick. He finds Jack Steele. He's had a good first term, Jack Steele. But he goes back out to the wing. Finds Brad Hill. And the Saints will work it inside again through Stocker. He's had a pretty good start as well, Liam Stocker. So the Bulldogs have just flooded the back line. They really don't have too many options up forward here, the Saints. So now they work it to Wilkie. And Wilkie kicking inside the forward 50 with a pretty poor kick. Turned over to Bailey Williams, who went back with the flight nicely. So 2.5 minutes to go in this first term. The Bulldogs, I think, were pretty happy with this scoreline, to be honest, because they've been dominating in this first quarter. He goes in short to find Oscar Baker. Probably been the best performing Bulldog so far in this game. It looks like the Bulldogs will decide to switch it. Finds Crozier. They've got a couple of options out wide here. He finds Alex Keith. Does a little dummy kick on Brad Hill and then goes in short. He finds Ed Richards. North Melbourne are up at the moment by 19-3, so a 16-point lead. Did you pick that one, Noah? I don't think you did. I don't think anyone in Australia would have. Bontempelli can't take the mark. He still can't get in the defensive pressure either. Wanganeen just kicks it through the eye of the needle, but it only goes as far as Keith. Now Daniel gets it in short. The Bulldogs can kick it inside the forward 50 now. Bontempelli against 2. Can't get his hands to it. Goes up well, though. Now Wilkie can't gather. McLean was out then, and he was called by the umpire. So Liam Jones is back on the bench now. He did get that head knock and did come off. I think he's okay, though, from what we can see at the moment. He's just having a drink of water and sitting on the front of the bench, so that's a good sign. So At the moment, the Bulldogs have played better in the past 5 minutes, but not good enough to get anywhere, to not get a goal on the board. At the back, the handball comes from McLean, goes to Bontempelli, clean on the ground, gives it off to McRae. Brilliant tackle from Owens, he drops the ball. Should have been rewarded. Umpire sees it otherwise. The umpire goes over the top from Jack Steele and rolls out of bounds. Good start from the Saints at the moment. Marshall's probably been the best player. The North Melbourne just kicked another goal, so they lead by 22 points at the moment, which will be the upset of at least the past 20 years, I believe, if they win that game. It's only early, though. That game started about 5 or 6 minutes after this one, so... Anyway, from the clearance now, English gets it. Long kick up towards the 50, goes out of bounds. Umpire's going to call it deliberate! Oh, that's a shocking decision. Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, Liam Stocker will take the free kick and goes long down the wing. Great mark from Kaminti. He's looked good, this man. Came in as a late replacement for the... I think he was the last recruit here for the Saints before the season began, and he's looked good. He needed to come in for the injuries. But now Liam Jones takes the intercept mark. So he's looking okay since he's came back on. You went the Dockers. I mean, I think everyone in Australia would have, man. Let's be real. I don't think anyone would have been tipping North. Up goes Darcy. He can't take the mark. On the ground, Dale knocks it away from his teammate, gets it back. Jack McRae off to Duray now. He works it down forward 50. 2v1 here. Scott almost gets onto it. Garcia keeps it in, but then takes it out. So 20 seconds to go in this first term. Just inside the pocket here for the Bulldogs. Ross Lyon got a little bit of a smirk on his face. He knows they've had a good start to this game. Yeah, North got another one. They're on fire at the moment. The ball comes in now. Bontempelli gets the tap. Liberatore has completely thrown that. The umpire hasn't seen it that way. McRae off to Bontempelli. Now to Bailey Smith. He snaps around the body into the forward 50. It's a good kick. Darcy gets his hands to it. Can't take the mark. Riley West runs through. Plays for the free kick. Umpire gives it. No. Play on to the call. Now Hunter Clark on the ground. Gets nearly pushed in the back. Riley West is still working hard. And the siren goes. So at quarter time, the Saints lead 4-1-25 to the Bulldogs. 1 behind. Great start from the Saints. They've looked the better of the two teams. Good start. Alright, I'll just bring the statistics up for this game. And at the moment in the other game, Fremantle lead 3-25. North Melbourne lead, sorry. Against Fremantle. Alright, let me just get these quickly. Alright, just bring up these statistics now. Christ, alright. Alrighty, so here are the statistics now for the first quarter, guys. So, let me just bring it up now. Alright, so leading disposal getters on the ground. Probably best player on the ground at the moment. Jack Steele with the 9 along with Seb Ross. We got the 8 touches to Crozier and 7 touches off to Bailey Smith and Jack Sinclair. And the best fantasy scorers at the moment, we've got Crozier and Josh Bruce leading it for the Bulldogs with 42 each. We've got 41 for Jack Steele, 35 for Seb Ross, and then 33 rounds out the top 5 with Brad Crouch. That's better. Alright. I'm gonna bring it up again for a minute. So North Melbourne currently leading the other game by 22 points at the moment. Harry Sheezer, what a game! What a gun young player he is. Fuck off, Abby Chatfield. No one gives a fuck about your opinion. All done. Still going on in that first quarter, actually, in the other game. So the Saints lead by 24 points at quarter time, and they've definitely been the better of the two sides. The Bulldogs need to start using the ball a lot better. They've been using it so badly in the first quarter. Second quarter is about to begin. So now back in the middle again. English and Marshall. Marshall had a brilliant start to this game. Knocks it down. Jack Steele get the clearance. It's the same old stuff from the first quarter. Brad Hill takes the mark. Top of the 50. Kicks it inside. It's not a good kick. And Crozier will take the mark. Oh, we get the free kick. It's a Crozier now. From the back pocket. Has a little bit of space to work with. He'll kick it long down the wing. Up goes Patton. He can't get there. Sinclair gives off the handball to Wilkie. Not the best handball. Rolls forward to Dre. He can't get onto it. Sebros handballs it back to Wilkie. Now Steele working in a little bit of a phone box there. Breaks past two players. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Can't get up there either Saints player. So now Bailey Dale on the ground. Shocking kick again. He's missed his teammate Dre. Steele gets the ball and somehow gets the handball out. Ross gets tackled and just taken over the line. Oh, shit. So Fremantle just kicked their first goal of the game, so here they come. McLean gets the clearance here for the Bulldogs, but only as far as Wanganeen Malira. Took a good mark. The Saints move it quickly. Nice little handball over to Patton. Be a free kick downfield here for the Saints. Now they're getting a little bit undisciplined here, the Bulldogs, and this free kick looks like it'll be going to... Is it Owens or Cominti? It's Owens. So Owens will be getting the free kick here. Poor play there from Riley West. Not good play at all. He was going to get that kick off there, Patton. He just came through and knocked him over. Bulldogs have to be careful here. They're not playing good footy, and the Saints could easily take this game away from them early in this game, really. So Mitch Owens will come in for his second goal. Kicked one early in the game. Comes in now. Fades out to the right. It's coming back a bit, but goes through for a behind. Ah, shit, the fucking timer. Alright, so short kick to Bontempelli. He needs to get into this game as well. Goes in short, finds Liberatore. Hasn't got too many options. The Bulldogs just look stagnant at the moment. He goes in short to find Liam Jones. He tries to get a little bit of run into the game. Then he goes long down the wing. Not the best kick. It goes to the toes of Baker, who can't gather. Now the Mason Wood will kick it inside, right on the flank. Just gets there, Cominti, about 50 metres out from goal. He winds around on the right, kicks it towards the top of the goal square where all the Bulldogs defenders are standing. Cordy goes up, he can't gather. Dre can't gather it either. Now the Bulldogs can work it out through the back. Bontempelli feigns a kick, but then gives out the handball to Liberatore. Then he gives it over the top to Caleb Daniel. He gets a nice bounce, but a shocking kick again. Sinclair gives it off to Seb Ross, who kicks it inside the forward 50. Great smother on the ground, but only as far as Brad Crouch. Gets that smothered off the boot. Philippou snaps on his left boot to kick his second. Great goal for the Saints. Philippou's kicked his second, and a great goal. The Saints take it out to a 5-goal lead. Great goal from Philippou. He's going to be a star, this kid. Great goal on the left. Took one step. Calm, cool, and collected. And nailed it. Great finish. Saints lead 5-2, 32 to the Bulldogs. One behind. They look so sloppy at the moment, the Bulldogs. Poor play. And the Saints capitalise. That's what they need to do here. All the Saints are doing really at the moment is surging the ball forward. And then taking the advantage. Great goal for the Saints. And Philippou's very happy with that one. So back in the middle now. English needs to start dominating a little bit more here. Marshall's being better at the two ruckman at the moment. Knocks it down. Bontempelli tries to get onto it. Seb Ross falls over. Can't gather. Just taps it out nicely though. Off to Crouch. Now Wood with the 1-2. Crouch gets onto it. Gives it off to Patton, who's had a few touches in this game. Kicks it out wide of the wing. It's not the best kick. Anthony Scott can't get there though. Philippou knocks it down to Burns. He does well. Over the top to Battle. Battle with a shocking kick up. English almost pushed out Cominti there. Umpire hasn't called it though. I think in the back's not a rule they pay anymore. He goes in short. He finds Crozier. So the Bulldogs need to start moving it forward now. Crozier goes long with the kick. Darcy goes up. Can't get there. Hugo Hagen roves it. But gets tackled by a couple of Saints. And holding the ball. Quarter time in the other game. Fremantle 15, North Melbourne 25. Yes, that is correct. North Melbourne are in front by 10 points at the moment. Great play there from the Saints. Battle gets the free kick. Patton goes short. He finds Sinclair. The Saints just working a tightrope on the wing here. So now they find Burns. What team do I support? I support the Sydney Swans actually. So yeah, we had a bad last game last year, but we played well in round one. Liberatore gets out the handball to English. English finds a little handball into Caleb Daniel, who gets taken down immediately by Jack Steele. You can probably see it actually in the background. Oh no, there's not even Sydney stuff here. Oh, that. That's probably the Sydney thing in the room at the moment. I've got a bunch of other stuff, I just haven't hung it up. Marshall gets the kick forward. Crozier gets off the handball, causes the turnover. McLean over to Caleb Daniel. A short little kick out wide. Turned over by English. Great pressure from Crouch, but a poor handball. Turns it back over to Daniel, who goes in short and finds Anthony Scott. And maybe the Bulldogs need to take a little bit of sting out of this game at the moment. The Saints are moving the ball so quickly at the moment. So now he works it back. He finds Keith. Looks like they're going to try and switch the play of the Bulldogs. So he cuts it inside. It's a shocking kick. Zane Cordy cuts it off. Looks like Liam Jones will recover it, though. Now, Tom Liberatore threw that out. Umpire doesn't see it that way. So Bontempelli gets the handball off to Bailey Dale. And he goes long with the kick. Oh, that's a free kick against West. Definitely a free kick. Couple of undisciplined plays from Riley West in this second quarter. So free kick will go to Patton. So many bad turnovers from the Bulldogs in this game so far. You would have thought from last week being demolished by the Melbourne Demons, they'd actually come out in this game and really dominate. But they played poorly. But then, meanwhile, now the Saints have turned it over, courtesy of Mason Wood. Now Duray works it forward. Ugle-Hagen's on his own. Can't take the mark, though. Drops it. Now Dougal-Howard just taking over the ground. Oh! Ugle-Hagen got very lucky there. He did very well not to slam him onto the ground. So it'd be a ball up, about 55 out from the Bulldogs' goal. Umpire throws it in. Marshall gets the tap down to Steele. Steele with a dinky handball. Crouch can't gather. Steele tries to kick it off the ground. He can't do so. Now Bontempelli gets tackled without it. Gives it off to McLean. McLean looks for the high one. He doesn't get one. Now Smith out to Duray, who bombs it inside the forward 50 to a back of players. Dougal-Howard gets the spoil. Ugle-Hagen gets the gather. Garcia off to McLean. One more handball and they're clear. West dives in. He can't get the free kick. McLean, it's bumbling inside the forward 50. Caleb Daniel, the clean player, picks it up and shoots towards goal, but only a behind. So another point to the Bulldogs. Brings it to an even 30 points. Sinclair goes in short. He finds Stocker. And Stocker goes out to the wing. Pretty nice kick. Finds Wilkie. Probably the most underrated player in the comp, Callum Wilkie. He's a brilliant player. Goes in short. He finds Higgins. Being a bit quiet early. They work it down the wing with a pretty nice kick. He finds Burns. Burns immediately gives it off to Brad Hill, who Gresham gets in the way of him, but finds some space. Kaminski can't gather that. Not the best kick. Now McLean off to Bailey Smith, and now the Bulldogs can go. Riley West on the wing here. Can't get to it. Battle. Breaks back inside. Brilliant play. Gives off the handball to Wood. Wood just a floating kick up in the air here. Can Philippou take the mark? He does. Immediately gets up, gives off the handball. Jack Steele kicks it inside. Great kick. Great play from the Saints. And Jack Higgins takes the mark 40 metres out. What a great play from the Saints there. Philippou in the air. Game 2. Took a brilliant mark. Worked and immediately knew that he had teammates next to him. A couple of these Bulldogs defenders have lowered their colours in this game so far. They've had 24 inside 50s to the Saints, 8 to the Bulldogs. That's definitely a midfield issue as well. Now Jack Higgins had his goal troubles in the past. Kicks towards goal. He's slightly hooked it. So through for a behind. Back to that 31-point lead. Luke Beveridge is asking everyone in the box, what can they do right now? There's not a lot they've done in this game. He's got Liam Jones on short here, Duray from the back square. Looks like he's just going to have to kick it long like they've been doing most of this game so far. Yeah, I don't think they do at the moment. They can't get any sort of space inside this game. So the Bulldogs, 12 minutes and 38 seconds to go in the second quarter. Bulldogs have yet to score a goal, and like Sandshark said, they don't look like scoring one at the moment. So back with the ruck now. Marshall knocks it down. Garcia gets onto it, but tackled well by Steele. Somehow gets the handball out. McLean gets a handball forward, but now Higgins drops it. Clark turns over the handball now, and Smith kicks it long. McRae can't gather. He looks like he's gone up forward for some reason, but now Stocker gets the gather. Good kick inside. Gresham can't mark it. Does well to work back onto it now. Bontempelli does well in a phone box. Gets out the kick wide to Anthony Scott, sorry. So now on the outer wing now, Scott. Kicks it long. Goes to about 70 metres out. Wilkie goes up. Does well to get out the back there, the Bulldogs. But now Patton kicks it long down the wing. Higgins can't get there. Roll out of bounds. True centre wing down the outer side. Bulldogs just don't have an answer at the moment. I've hardly seen Norton in this game so far. He's hardly been sighted. They just can't seem to get it anywhere near any of their tall forwards. Ugle-Hagen's had a couple of moments when it's hit the ground. He's been able to gather, but hasn't been able to do anything with it. Do the Bulldogs still have a chance of winning? I think they do, because the Saints haven't done much on this. They should have had 8 or 9 goals, the Saints. They've dominated so much in this first half. Down goes Scott. He taps it away. Gets away here. Bailey Smith just breaks. Wait, hang on. Umpire's called it back. It's a free kick for below the legs against Scott there. So the Saints getting a bit of the rub of the green here with the umpires. But Gresham will get the free kick. About 80 metres out from goal. Current free kick count is 11-2. I don't think that's actually too far wrong, to be honest. There's a couple of undisciplined plays by the Bulldogs. The Saints go inside the forward 50. Now, Kaminti goes up. He can't take the mark. Bailey Williams just takes the contact. It'll be a ball up. 25 metres out. Straight in front of goal here for the Saints. 11 minutes to go still in this second quarter. Saints have dominated this game so far. Butler gets tackled without it. Bontempelli gets away with that. But then Hunter Clark drops it. And the umpire somehow sees that free kick. Alrighty. Well, English will get the free kick of the Bulldogs. It was definitely there, but there was a free kick for the Saints earlier because Bontempelli tackled him without the ball. But anyway. So Josh Bruce in the back pocket. Goes in short for Bailey Smith, who just takes the mark. Unfortunately, it looks like the Bulldogs just playing too slow at the moment. They don't have any sort of run in this game. Norton will get the free kick here. Will he get the free? Yeah, he will. So Norton will get the free kick here. Got to push in the back. So now the Bulldogs getting a couple of free kicks here to work down the forward line. Norton tries to switch the play. It's actually a good kick. He finds English on his own in the middle of the ground. He goes out wide to find Gerard. It's a shocking kick. He misses him. He was on his own, Gerard. He turns it over. Higgins now gives it off. Cordy. And now the Saints are streaming through the middle of the ground. Owens to Higgins. He kicks it inside the forward 50 to 1-on-1. Bruce and Hill. Hill can't take the mark. He gets it on the ground though. Gets out the handball. Gresham on the ground. He's got 2 players. Owens breaks past 2 opponents. Snaps on goal and just misses. Should have kicked another one there, the Saints. It's another poor finish. They had time. But again, the Bulldogs just... their ball use is subpar to say the best about him at the moment. So Ed Richards out the back, kicks it to Crozier. Oh, drop mark! That's shocking from Josh Bruce. It was a short kick. Crozier goes in short, find Bontempelli. That was paid a mark, and Bontempelli holds it. Kicks in short. He's actually had a few touches in this quarter. Gives it off to McRae. Back to Bontempelli. He kicks in short. These two need to get into the game. Kicks it off to English. Now Caleb Daniel goes in short. Good kick. Finds Liberatore. This has been the cleanest play from the Bulldogs so far. Now Baker has some room inside the forward 50. Great kick. And finds Anthony Scott leading up. And this needs to be a goal for the Bulldogs. That was the cleanest passage of play the Bulldogs have had. And they still had a drop mark earlier in it. But now Anthony Scott has the chance to kick his first. And kick the Bulldogs first. 9 minutes to go in the second term. In the other game, by the way, North Melbourne lead 32-15 at the moment. Anthony Scott comes in to kick the Bulldogs first. Kicks on goal. Oh, hits the post. And it's another behind the Bulldogs. It's been their sort of night at the moment. They just can't find a goal at the moment, the Bulldogs. So now Stocker will kick it from the back goal square now. The defensive goal square. Doesn't have too many options, so he comes out onto the commentary side. Kicks it long. He's got Marshall out there. He goes up. Good spoil from English from behind. Now Ross tries to gather. McRae does get onto it. Gets his hands up. Does well. Gets at the handball. English to Dale to Crozier. Now Ed Richards kicks it inside the forward 50. Ugle-Hagan leads out. Takes the mark. The Bulldogs have looked good in the past few minutes. Great lead out mark there from Ugle-Hagan. He's probably been the most competent of the forwards so far for the Bulldogs. But this is only their 10th inside forward 50. 3rd for the quarter. And they need to go back and nail one of these goals. So Ugle-Hagan comes in. Pretty much straight in front here. Kicks... oh, Jesus. That came off the side of his boot and out on the full. That's a shocking kick. Jesus. It's like they've got cement in their boots at the moment when kicking towards goal, the Bulldogs. Or kicking the ball in general. Now Wanganeen Malira just breaks past Riley West. Went a little bit too hard. He goes in short. Great kick. Finds Brad Crouch. Bulldogs can't buy a goal at the moment. So now Crouch goes inside. Great kick. Finds Patton. True centre-half back, got some space. He kicks it out wide. It's not a good kick at all, this one from Patton. Mason Wood has to go run for it, but as the time, he's got a teammate over the top and he gives. Great handball. He goes in short stocker. Great mark from Owens. If he gets up quickly, they have a little bit of space here. He doesn't it all. Nice little knock over there from Stocker. Knocks Bailey Williams to ground. Loving his new Saints colours. So Owens kicks it long. Pretty nice kick. Up goes Philippou. Can't take the mark. Spoiled towards the boundary line. And it'll be a ball in the about 40 metres out from the Saints goal. How do you honestly possibly kick that on the full? Yeah, that's a fucking shocking kick. Now Owens kicks it inside the forward 50. Up goes Sam Darcy, who takes a brilliant mark. He's playing in the back 50 now, looks like Darcy. He goes long with Hugo Hagen, who takes it in between two Saints. Great mark. Looks like they've got a little bit of momentum now, the Bulldogs, but now he goes inside. Shocking kick again. Gets kicked in danger there, Ross, but it doesn't matter. Umpire doesn't call it. Bontempelli goes long to Norton. And now the Bulldogs have a free man inside the forward 50. Oscar Baker should mark and does. Well, the Saints have let the Bulldogs get back into this. But the Bulldogs still don't want to kick a goal. Can Oscar Baker kick this? He's about 30 metres out. Looks like he's going to go around on the right for a snap shot on goal. Oscar Baker to kick their first here for the Bulldogs. Comes around, snaps on goal. Looks pretty good. And the Bulldogs finally have their first goal of the game. Late in this... Oh, just not late. Probably midway to late in the second quarter. And to say they needed that is an understatement. The Bulldogs get there first. 1-3-9 to the Saints. 5-4-34. Great goal from Baker there. They actually worked that well there, the Bulldogs, but it still took a poor pass in the middle of the ground, and they somehow fumbled it forward. Bontempelli got into and then gave a nice kick to Norton, and Norton found Oscar Baker pretty much on his own inside the forward pocket. Brad Hill didn't work hard enough back there to stop that one. And Baker has their first. Back in the ruck, that'll be a free kick to Zane Quarty. Advantage is taken by Jack Steele. He kicks it inside the forward 50. Up goes Liam Jones with a brilliant mark. Kicks it out wide. Nice kick out to Bailey Williams. They have a little bit of momentum now, the Bulldogs. They've got to capitalise on this. Williams goes long down the wing. Pretty nice kick. Good spoil there from Zane Quarty out the front. He gets onto it in the end. He works hard. Does well. Gives it off to Butler, who gets tackled immediately by Dale. Now tackled Liberatore by 2 or 3 Saints. Be another ball up. 5.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. The Bulldogs can knock back a couple more. Good God, a long way into this game because they're still in it. It's only 25 points. Knocks it down. Hunter Clark will get the clearance here for the Bulldogs, but only as far as Alex Keith. He works it back to Liam Jones. Can they run clean down the ground here? There's been, every single time they've run the ball down the ground in this game, even when it's turned out to be a score, there's always been some sort of messed up kick. Now Dre goes long with the kick. Not too bad. Out the back goes McRae. If he gathers there, a through. Gives it over the top to Garcia, who gets taken down immediately by Clark. Oh, he's given away the free kick. So Garcia will get the free kick for the Bulldogs, 45 metres out. I don't know about that. Hunter Clark takes him out. I've seen more in the back this round that should have been paid. I don't know about that one. He kind of falls onto his butt, let's be real, onto his ass cheeks. But anyway. Ryan Garcia, first game of the year, came in for the first game tonight. He's kicked 7 career goals. This will be for his 8th and a much needed one for the Bulldogs. He comes in on goal. Looks pretty good from Ryan Garcia. And he's got it. The Bulldogs have got the last 2 in quick succession. The Bulldogs are right back in this game. So the Bulldogs 2-3-15 trail the Saints 5-4-34. So the Bulldogs finally pegging a couple back here after a poor start to this game. That was pretty clean football, to be honest, from the Bulldogs. Probably the cleanest they've gone from back to front in this game so far. Look at the free kick again. It may be technically in the back. I don't know if I'd pay it, but Garcia capitalises on that, and the Bulldogs only down by 19 after being dominated for basically a quarter and a half of this game. Back in the ruck now. Great tap from English. Knocks it straight down to Bailey Smith. Goes inside the forward 50. Stocker can't gather. Wanganeen Malira tries to grab it. McRae gets out a handball. And McRae's got a free kick. So another free kick here for the Bulldogs. This could bring them right back into this game. Yeah, big momentum swing. Definitely. Here's the free kick. I mean, there's not much really Hunter Clark could do, but it is high. So McRae will get the free kick. About really not much of an angle to speak of. About 45 metres out he'll kick it from. Jack McRae, not really known for many goals. He comes in, kicks on goal. Will hold the line. It's not even going to make the distance. Goes through for a behind. The Bulldogs could have desperately used that. Goes out to the wing. Marshall in English. No one can mark that. Bontempelli comes through like a steam train. Gives out the handball. Now McLean kicks it inside the forward 50 into the pocket. Running back with the flight. Great mark. Aaron Norton. And the Saints have almost stopped. And this is a big momentum change in this game. Now Aaron Norton not on the best side here for a left footer, but he's going to snap on his right. So 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in this second term. The Bulldogs to get their third in a row. Now around the body. Nails it. And the Bulldogs have came out of nowhere and have kicked 3 goals in the space of about 10 minutes to bring them back to only a 12-point deficit. 3-4-22 the Bulldogs. Down by 12 to the Saints. 5-4-34. Jeez. Really didn't see this coming. They couldn't buy a goal, the Bulldogs. And suddenly, Bontempelli's got into this game, really. He's had a dominant second quarter. They may have to send someone to him because he has had a dominant game in the middle probably since the quarter started. But, yeah, his head knock isn't hampering him at all anymore. He was really the contributor there as well to get it forward. And now, 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. Bulldogs only down by 12. So umpire bounces it down now. English gets the tap out to Liberatore. Great clearance here for the Bulldogs. They've actually started to dominate in the middle as well. Up and under kick, this one goes. Spoiled out well, but the Bulldogs should get there first with McRae. McRae gets it out. He looks like he ran that out. Umpire doesn't call it. Gives it off to Liberatore. Now Bailey Smith inside the forward 50. Goes long for Ugle-Hagan. Pushes his opponent under the ball. Not paid. Now Sinclair can recover here for the Saints and goes in with a 40-metre dab kick over the top to Brad Crouch. He goes in short to Butler, who gets a spoiled away. And now the Saints are a little bit sloppy. So the Bulldogs finally actually showing some sort of pressure in this game. And 2.5 minutes to go, we're on the forward side of the wing here for the Bulldogs. So umpire throws it in now. English and Marshall in the ruck as it always has been. Tapped down by English, but Marshall almost gets the clearance. Now by Bontempelli. Gets tackled by Mason Wood. That should be holding the ball. Oh, he gets the high free kick. And gives off the handball immediately. Now Ed Richards gives off the handball to Bailey Dale. About 75 metres out from goal. Goes long with the kick. Norton goes up. Can't take the mark. Ugle-Hagan works hard inside the forward 50. Breaks past an opponent. Snaps on goal and just misses. They're almost peppering at the goals now, the Bulldogs. This was not seen 10 minutes ago, and now suddenly they're only 11 points behind. Short kick to find Dougal Howard. He goes in short, and he finds Mason Wood. The Saints just need to find a little bit of composure, but a shocking kick by Wood. Turns it straight over to Riley West. Minute and 45 to go in the second turn. The Bulldogs would love another one going into half-time. After the huge momentum that the Saints have had in this first quarter and a half, they could only be up by 11 points at the moment. So Bailey Smith about 55 from home. He may just have to launch it. It looks like he's pointing towards that. Hasn't got any options up forward. So he just drops it on inside the pocket. Not the best kick. Arms were held of English. Umpire doesn't call it. Gets tackled there. The Dougal Howard, and it'll be a ball up in the forward pocket here for the Bulldogs. Minute and 15 seconds to go before half time. And the Saints only lead by 11 points. Marshall knocks it down. Good tap and finds Seb Ross. He clears it out. Phillip, who can't gather. Looks like Bailey Dale will be first back to this one. He gives off the handball. He finds Duray. Has a teammate on top of the 50, but decides to go longer than that. Up goes Bontempelli. Can't get to it. Now, Wangler Manera has been tackled without the football. Clearly, that was a free kick to the Saints. Jesus. This has been some shocking umpiring. He got tackled by the legs without the football. There's 2 free kicks there. Whatever. Alright. Umpire balls it up. Knocked down by English it was, I think. And then ball up again in the forward pocket here for the Bulldogs. 45 seconds to go. Umpire throws it up again. Marshall knocks it down. Great take there from Smith, but only handballs it towards McLean and will go out of bounds. 40 seconds to go now. Another forward stoppage here for the Bulldogs. Oh, my neck. The Saints just have to hold this really until half-time now. They haven't been able to capitalise on their momentum. Now they just need to hold it so they don't concede another one. Umpire throws it in again. Marshall and Ugelhagen hold the arm of Marshall. Umpire doesn't see it that way. Crouch, good tackle on Lebratore. Be another stoppage. 30 seconds to go. Marshall just takes it out of the ruck and kicks it clear. Only as far as Bailey Dale. Oh, Higgins goes up. Elbows him in the head and it'll be a free kick to Bailey Dale. So the Bulldogs getting rid of the rub of the green now with the umpiring. That was definitely there, though. Bailey Dale goes inside the forward 50 now. Just to another pack again. Up goes 5 Saints and 3 Bulldogs. He'll trickle out of bounds. Forward pocket. 14 seconds to go in this second term. Bit interesting. The Bulldogs seem like they have no method going forward. And they only find themselves 11 points down. English and Marshall in the ruck. English can't take it out of the ruck. Plays for the free kick and gets it. Oh, jeez. So on halftime, English will get the free kick. Oh, I mean, he was held a little bit, and then he took it all. He milked it for the free. So I don't know. Tim English will get the free kick in the forward pocket. 11 points down at the moment. To bring it back to only a 5-point deficit going into halftime, Tim English comes in, kicks on goal, straight through the middle. And the Bulldogs, something from nothing really. They've kicked 4. Oh, here we go. Bit of a wrestle here in the forward, inside the forward 50. Hang on, I gotta watch this. Oh, they're all going in. Bit of a biffo. Marshall goes in there, gets in for a bit of a punch up. But English has kicked the goal. I think they were probably remonstrating, saying that English played for it. But nonetheless, the Saints have just shot themselves in the foot. They had such momentum, they didn't take the advantage. And now they're only up by 5 points at half time. Alright. Alright, just bring up statistics now, guys, and then we'll be at halftime. Oh. Alright. Alright, let's just bring them up now. Alright, we'll look at that. Alright, so the statistics at halftime, the leading disposal getter on the ground is Jack Steele with the 16, probably been best on ground to this point in the game. Bailey Smith and Tom Liberatore with the 15. We have Crozier with 14, Seb Ross with 13, and then the best fantasy scorers, Jack Steele with the 73, English with the 69, Brad Crouch with the 66, Hayden Crozier with the 65, and Tom Liberatore rounds out the top 5 with 57. Alrighty. Alright, we'll be back at halftime, guys.
G'day guys, and welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. This is our 3rd episode now, and of course we just completed round 1. It was a pretty good round, to be honest, to start off the season. I thought it was going to be a pretty lackluster one, with a lot of games being quite obvious to tell which ones were which. But we had a massive win for Port Adelaide over the Lions, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Even though it wasn't Adelaide Oval, the Brisbane Lions have had a great record over Port recently. Then we had the Pies on Friday night, just come back from not nowhere. They played really well in the second half and took out the reigning premiers in Geelong. We saw the Saints late on Sunday beat Fremantle, which, yes, it was in Melbourne, but I think a lot of people would have expected that Fremantle would run over a team like St Kilda who had so many injuries. And then finally, of course, the day one of the new season, we had something, and if you want to watch me eat, in the week before, because they'll have a bye week for the finals. I think it'd be a good idea to do a live stream of the count, you know how the AFL does with the Brown. I think it'd be funny if I could do it, and I'll be like Andrew Demetriou and be like A Sloan or something like that. Just really, I know that's not his. I don't know why I said A Sloan, but anyway, yeah. But let's get into the tipping. So we'll be talking more about fantasy team in a minute, which absolutely dominated, by the way. So we'll get into the bad news first. I got 4 tips out of 9 because a lot of upsets happened, and I think a lot of people can understand that. And one thing that I did miss out this week was the certainty pick. Now, if you guys don't remember or missed the last episode, the certainty pick was the fact that we would have to pick a team that lost the previous week to win the next week. And obviously, because it was round 1, we couldn't pick a loser. So what we did was we picked a team that that finished lower than the team that they were playing this week or whatever. And I got to pick first, and I was doing it. This is what I do with my brother. We'll be talking a little bit about his multi later, but make sure to go follow Jackpot Junkies over on Instagram, and I'll link that in the description. But yeah, he got his tip right. He picked Essendon as his certainty pick to beat Hawthorn, because Essendon finished lower than Hawthorn last year. But I picked the Bulldogs to beat Melbourne, and Bulldogs pulled out fucking nothing and cost me to eat 2 Weet-Bix. So I'll play the clip now of me eating these Weet-Bix. I won't play the full clip, but maybe I'll leave an unlisted clip linked in the top comment or something. And if you want to watch me eat 2 Weet-Bix without milk and anything for I think it was 5 minutes I ate it for, then you can watch that. But yeah, I'll just play some clips now.
I imagine just what cardboard tastes like. Oh, Christ. I'm eating all of them, by the way. It's just pure. It's like eating paper. Oh my god. I really love Weet-Bix, but I like soggy Weet-Bix. Who the fuck on it? Oh. And I had dinner before this, thinking, I want to have something decent to eat before I have to eat this dreadful shit. I'm having to chew it more to make it like a paste, so when I swallow it, it doesn't go down jagged. Fucking Christ. What are you two? I got my cats sitting here. I don't know why they're watching me. You don't want this. I mean, this is how vegans would have to eat this, wouldn't they? Oh no, they wouldn't eat that because I'm assuming they could eat it. I mean, I'm guessing possums and shit get mown down by the wheat grinders or whatever. I'm assuming that would probably be in here. So possum tastes pretty nice. Oh, good.
It still has the Wheat Bix taste, which is okay. It's just so dry. But it's like eating cardboard. Ugh. God, I hope the fucking Lions win this week. Not the Lions. Who's my certainty pick again? Oh, the Bulldogs. If they don't beat the Saints, I picked the Bulldogs last week, so if they don't beat the Saints, I hate them. I already don't really like the Bulldogs, but I hate them even more if they don't win this week. Alright. I finished it now. Alright, back to the episode. We'll get into my tips now. So, this week, and I'll put my brother's tips on the next to it. My tips this week, I've picked Geelong to beat Geelong to beat Carlton on Thursday night. I think Geelong just had a bit of an off week in the first round, which is fair enough. So I think they'll bounce back against Carlton, and Carlton off to not the best start with a draw and a loss if that happens. I'm going to pick Geelong to beat Carlton. Next game, Brisbane versus Melbourne at the Gabba. I think Melbourne will win this game. They're getting actually 4 of their players back this week. Fritsch, Viney, Salem, and I think another one. I think it's Stephen May. So with all those players back, I think they'll be able to back up against Brisbane and go 2-0. And Brisbane are going to be in a bit of trouble if they don't win this game, because being 0-2 in the first part of the season, it's not going to. I don't think they'll miss finals by any chance, but it's not a good start for a team that was, expected to make finals. Now, it was expected to compete for a premiership. Now, this is actually going to be my game for the week. So, if you guys missed it last week, we actually did 2 live streams for 2 games, but I'm trying to at least guarantee 1 live stream a week. And this week, the game of the week will be Brisbane versus Melbourne. Now, on the left-hand side now, I'll be putting up the Jackpot Junkies multi for the week, so you can have a look at that now. So I will be live streaming this game. It starts at 7:20 here in South Australia, so Australian Central Standard Time. I think that's what they say. We'll just look up Adelaide time if you have to. So yeah, I'll be live then on this channel, live streaming the game. I think it was pretty fun to do it. I was actually a little bit nervous to do live streaming for AFL, but I thought it was actually quite fun. Basically just commentated the game, which I thought was fun. And not so much the second game. The first game, a couple of people joined in and seemed to enjoy it. So yeah, if you do I don't know, even if you want to watch the game and put it on mute and listen to me, you can do that. I think that's kind of fun to do. But yeah, I'm picking Melbourne to beat Brisbane in this game. Next game, we have Collingwood versus Port Adelaide. This one's probably going to be the hardest one to pick of the week because Port Adelaide plays so well against Brisbane. It's going to be hard. I don't know if they can back it up. But then Collingwood played brilliantly against Geelong. So I'm picking Collingwood to beat Port Adelaide because it's at the MCG. I think it'll be an interesting game. We'll see if Port Adelaide can back it up. If they can back it up, as well as they played against Brisbane, I give them a good chance of beating Collingwood. But for now, I'm picking Collingwood purely on the fact that it's at the MCG. After that, we get to the Crows versus Richmond. This is actually a hard game because Richmond didn't look that good against Carlton. I think they should have beaten them, but they didn't look exactly that convincing for a lot of the game. And the Crows, if they can keep the form they did in the first half against the GWS, I think they can beat Richmond. But the second half performance against the Giants was not very good looking for the Crows. So I'm going to be picking Richmond. And at Adelaide Oval, I do give the Crows a bit more of a chance, but I'm going to be picking Richmond just purely on the fact that I trust Richmond a little bit more. So next game is actually going to be my certainty pick of the week, which is the fact that I'm going to be picking the Bulldogs, who lost last week to beat St Kilda. Now, I'm not exactly confident on it because I had the Bulldogs pick last week and they didn't do very well. So, but I am going to pick them to bounce back against the Saints. I think the Saints got incredibly, not lucky, but I just don't see the Saints going 2-0 here just because of the fact that I don't think Ross Lyon can keep the midfield of the Bulldogs under wraps. I think the Bulldogs can dominate St Kilda in the midfield and then take over this game. So my certainty pick for this week is Bulldogs to beat St Kilda. Next game, we get Fremantle versus North Melbourne. I think this is pretty standard. Even though Fremantle lost their first game, they're not going to lose two, especially just because this is in Perth. They'll beat North Melbourne pretty comfortably. And that is my brother's certainty pick, actually. Pretty sure. Yeah, so he picked Fremantle to beat North Melbourne. That's why I didn't pick it, because he was picking first this week. He picked Fremantle versus North Melbourne. I would have been picking that game, obviously, but I feel like he's got that wrapped up pretty easily. Fremantle to beat North Melbourne, pretty easy one. Next game, first game on Sunday, will be Sydney versus Hawthorn. I've picked Sydney. I don't see a way that Hawthorn can win this game, considering how young they are. I feel like Sydney would just dominate them in the midfield. So it's SCG as well, so I'm going to be picking Sydney. After that, we have Essendon versus Gold Coast. I do give Gold Coast a bit of a chance here because I think Stuart Dew's going to be pretty ropeable about how they played against the Swans. But at this stage, I'm going to be picking Essendon just because it's in Melbourne. But I think if the Gold Coast can definitely bounce back and in the midfield as well, and their forward line's got to look like they want it, then I can give Gold Coast a good shot here. But for now, I'm picking the Bombers. And finally, the last game of the round is West Coast versus the Giants in Optus. I give West Coast a bit of a chance because it is in Perth, and I think you always have to give the Perth team a chance when they're playing over there. But the Giants look good in that second half, and I'm going to be picking the Giants. Just how well they played. Now, let's be honest, the first couple of rounds, I don't think I'm going to decipher the top 8. I don't think the Giants are going to make the top 8, even though they may win their first 2 games. I don't think Essendon are going to make the 8, even though they may win their first 2 games. I think Brisbane can still make the 4, even though they may lose their first 2 games. So, I don't think it's chucked too many predictions of the whole season out of order. But I do think that the first couple of rounds could look a little bit different on the ladder compared to maybe mid-year. But I think that's actually a pretty good stop there. So just to reiterate, my certainty pick for this week is the Bulldogs to beat St Kilda, and my brother's certainty pick this week is for Fremantle to beat North Melbourne. He's going to get this one right. I could be 2 down already. I've already had one. I've already had wheat bix. I think the next one, the second one is that I have to wax like my leg, and I'm not doing that like shaving shit or whatever. I have to like do the hot pot shit that hurts like crazy that my partner does sometimes. So it's gonna be fun for me. But anyway, let's move into something that I'm a little bit more happy about, which is my fantasy team. Now my fantasy team, I don't think I've ever had as good a week as I did last week. In round 1, I got 2,200 points and the rank of my team at the moment is 113. Nearly hit the top 100. Inside the top 250. I think I have had playing AFL fantasy with like, how long have I been doing it now? Since I think 2013. So, it's pretty embarrassing. We've been doing it for nearly 10 years. Oh no, 2014. So about 9 years. I think it was. I have not had I think I've made the top 100 for a week once. So to be sitting at 113 from the first round was shocked me. And the fact is as well, my captain didn't do that well. I had Bontempelli as my captain. He got 99. So he got 198, which is pretty good. But my defense absolutely stood up. I had Sam Doherty. Dacos had a brilliant game. And also my 2 rookie players. Well, not even sort of 3 in my defense. I had Stocker who got 81. He was only 400 priced. Constable was only 330 priced. He got 87. And then Jinby on debut got 92. I didn't see that coming at all. My midfield, Tom Green had a brilliant game. DeGoey had a brilliant game as well. McRae did pretty well, 107. I'll take that. And then my rookie / mid-price midfielders. Warple got 96. That was a brilliant game for him. I think he's going to have a brilliant year because now that Hawthorn have cut all their midfielders through experienced, Warple's their most experienced midfielder in the team. So I think he's going to have a brilliant year. He got 96. Callahan for GWS had a pretty poor first 3 quarters, had about 50 points, but then pulled off the last quarter brilliantly, got 83. Will Ashcroft, I was expecting to get at least 70 from him, so 59 was a bit disappointing, but he's on debut. I think everyone had a little bit higher expectations from him, but the Brisbane Lions played pretty poorly. And in that game, for the fantasy points wise, no one even got 100, so 59, not the best, but it's not exactly the worst. And then Mackenzie on debut for Hawthorn got 75, so I can take that. My ruckman were a bit disappointing. Marshall and Cameron Marshall got 72, Cameron got 75. Marshall I give a little bit of a reprieve because Darcy played pretty well and they had 2 ruckmen against him. So I'm 72, I'll take that. Darcy Cameron, I'm not too impressed with the 75, to be honest. I thought he would have been doing a lot better. I'll get to my trades in a minute, but yeah, I was pretty disappointed by Darcy Cameron. Keneally, my forward line did brilliantly. The lowest player scored 90, and that was Horn Francis. I mean, I had Canelio 104, brilliant. Taranto 123, brilliant. Rosie 95, brilliant. Goulden 99, brilliant. And Sheasel, of course, got 118. Like that's, I didn't think he was gonna score 118 by any means. And then my reserves, I had Wilmot, Bergman. They got in their 40s. That's fine. Davey got 58, so that's good for money. Long got 38, pretty. Nah. Pedler got 70, so that was pretty good. And then I had not many people picked up this guy, Chandler. I picked him up because I didn't even realize he was going to be 200. I saw that. I was like, oh, he's had a pretty good pre-season from what I've heard for Melbourne. And he got 104, so that's going to be brilliant for money. He went up 60k just that 1 week, so his break-even's going to be like rock bottom. So if he scores like a 40 or a 50, I'm not expecting him to get 100. I'm not expecting Chandler to rank as one of the top forwards this year. But, I mean, if he can just average like from now 50, I mean, his score's going to hit like, 400, 500 pretty quickly. So I'll be happy with that. And then last one was Campbell Chesser. So he had a pretty poor game, to be honest. I thought he would have done better. But now we get to my trades for the week. And, I mean, it's hard to pick the trades this week because my team did so well that I was like, I mean, I have to do something. Like, let's be honest. My team, I don't think it's going to back it up that well.
Alrighty, we are back. Only a minute or so before the second half begins. So St Kilda dominated the first quarter and a half of this game. The Bulldogs only played well in the past 10 minutes of that second quarter, and they kicked 4 goals. So yeah, the Bulldogs just played better in the past 10 minutes and they actually capitalised on their little advantage that they had. That's why they're still in this game, to be honest. Nugget, I go for the Dogs, and I'm pretty happy that you'll keep this up. You'll win. Yeah, they will. The Dogs will win this game if they continue this, because the Saints did show really nothing in the last 10 minutes of this quarter, and the Bulldogs capitalised on it. Second half is about to get underway. So umpire throws it down. Third quarter underway now. Bulldogs caught back in the last 10 minutes of that quarter to bring the game right back to a 5-point margin. English gives away the free kick, so Sinclair will get the free kick. Saints take the advantage. Brad crouch inside the forward 50, finds Philippou. Great kick. Top of the 50, takes the mark. So Philippou now for the Saints. To kick his third, actually, and bring the Saints to a good lead of 11 points. It's a long kick from here. Kicks towards goal. Holds a pretty good line. Has it made the distance? It has. And Philippou kicks his third. The Saints get the first of the second half. And a brilliant kick from Philippou. And the teammates get to him, and as they should. What a goal. He launched that from about 55 metres. And he's kicked it. He's looking like the most dangerous forward at the moment. Philippou's trying to get an early round 2 Rising Star nomination with this sort of game. He's played brilliantly. He's got 3 goals now. He launched that from inside the centre square, in fact. So that was longer than... That'd be about 60 metres, that kick. So back in the middle now, Daniel gives off the handball to Liberatore. He gets the clearance, but not a very long one. It goes out towards the wing. Up goes Mason Wood. He can't take the ball with him. Gresham drops it, but then drags it back in. He could be in trouble here. Tackled by Liberatore and Williams. Be a ball up. So I think the game will be won in the middle here. Whoever can take control in the middle of the ground really will win this game. I think that's where it got dominant. I think that's where the momentum came from the Saints early. They dominated in the middle of the ground. So now Owens tries to get it out, does well, gives it to Steele, back to Owens. He kicks it on his unpreferred left foot up towards the forward 50. Great take there by Liam Jones. He breaks the tackle, and now the Bulldogs can counter-attack. Unfortunately, Williams ran over it. Wood tries to track it, does well, gives it off to Clark. Now Brad Hill off to Marshall, and now Sinclair streaming through the middle of the ground. Garcia tries to chase. He won't catch him. Nice little short kick to Phillip, who goes over his head. Liam Jones gets back. He'll receive the handball from Duray. Now Jones goes in short. Oh, just finds Ed Richards. Your prediction is Saints win by 8. Yeah, I mean, I still think the Bulldogs are more quality. I think they'll probably run over and win this game. So now Bontempelli through the middle of the ground. Goes long with the kick. Norton running back. Should take the mark and does. Oh! And then Dougal Howard kicked him in the face. Oh. What happened was Norton was running towards goal trying to take the mark. He took it. But then Dougal Howard fell over the top of him, and as he came down, his foot hit Norton in the face. Fuck's sake. But a great play there from Bontempelli through the middle of the ground. He hit Norton, and now Norton has a chance to kick the Bulldogs back to a 5-point deficit. It's hardly been really seen in this game, really with like a lot of the Bulldogs players early in the first quarter and a half of this game. Norton comes in, tight ropes the goal post, but nails it. And the Bulldogs back to within 5 points. Great finish from Aaron Norton. He should kick it, and he did. So a little bit of a 2 goals pretty early in this third quarter. It's a pretty quiet game in the first half. Only the 9 goals kick, I believe, was there? Yeah, only the 9 goals kicked in the first half, and now we've already seen 2 pretty early. Great mark there great kick from Bontempelli to find Norton inside the forward 50. Ball goes up again. Marshall can't win the ruck, does well there, English, but goes only as far as Steele, who gets tackled immediately by Bontempelli. Just gets away the handball in time to not get a free kick given away. It'll be a ball up. So the Bulldogs showing some good pressure inside the middle of the ground early in this third quarter. Throw up goes up. Marshall gets the tap only as far as Liberatore. Gets tackled immediately by 2 Saints. We've seen a lot of this in this game so far. That there's a lot of repeat stoppages. Looks like the Saints have actually chucked a extra spare defender in the back half here in Josh Battle. Goes up again. 2-handed tap down there by Marshall. Gets smothered the kick though from Brad Crouch. And now the Saints, the Bulldogs can go. Fucking hell. I think I need a drink of water. McRae gets the ball. Works it inside the forward 50. It's a pretty nice kick. Up goes Dougal Howard with a nice spoil. Only goes as far as Baker, who taps it down almost to Bontempelli. McLean gets onto it. He's got a little bit of time to work with. He gives it off to Duray, who can kick it inside the forward 50. He goes to the top of the square. Norton tries to take it from the back. Sinclair does well. He takes it calmly, and then Battle just taps it through. Be a rush behind. Only 4 points the difference now. It's the closest the Bulldogs have been basically since the game started. So now Sinclair from the defensive goal square. Steps in to get that disposal. Gives it off to Dougal Howard. Barely the 15 metres, but it was paid. So Howard goes in short. He finds Patton. So now Patton goes in short. So they're working short and through the middle of the ground. Hunter Clark's been found. He had a teammate running up in front, which was Marshall. He decides to go a little bit more to the wing side. He goes out wide. Up goes Zane Cordy. Can't get there. Fisted out of bounds well by Josh Bruce. Oh, good job from Liam Jones, in fact. Oh, shit. Currently now by 4 points to Bulldogs. This game definitely looks like more of a contest than it did early in this game. English gets the tap down. Great tap, but Garcia can't get the handball off to McLean. Gets it to Sinclair. Now smothers well. Out comes Garcia from the stoppage. Gives it off to Dale. Dale feints a kick on his right. Then comes out through the left side. Great kick to Ugle Hagen. He's about 55 out from goal. Has Norton leading up on a short lead. It's a great kick. Aaron Norton takes the mark in the forward pocket. Great play from the Bulldogs. They've looked a lot more cleaner since they turned the momentum around late in that second quarter. And now the Bulldogs have a chance for the first time in this game to actually take the lead. Great kick from Ugle Hagen to find Norton on the lead. Now Norton has a chance to put the Bulldogs in front for the first time. Hard kick for a left footer, but he comes in. Aaron Norton looks pretty good. Just goes through for a behind. So now it's only 3 points the difference. So now Wanganeen Miller will take it out of the defensive goal square. Goes in with a dangerous kick, but good mark for Mason Wood. Doesn't have much to go to. Now the Saints look the slower of the two sides. Whoever's been moving the game a lot faster has probably been the better of the two teams. Mason Wood works it down the outer wing. Long kick up to Marshall. English goes up, can't take the mark though. Marshall gives out a slick handball to Higgins. Higgins goes over the top to Hill. Lets the traffic pass him, gives it back to Butler. Tries to break the tackle of two players, does very well. Over to Higgins, back to Butler. The Saints are running it through inside the forward 50. Not the best kick, only goes to McRae. Now Keith has some time. Nice little handle over to Liberatore. Back to Keith. Only rolls along the ground. Does well. Owens probably threw that away. Umpire decides not to pay the free kick. And now Crozier goes out wide to Baker with a terrible kick, but it will roll out of bounds. That was a really exciting play there by the Saints on the outer wing, but they just could not find that kick from Butler. So now the umpire will throw it in. Butler definitely fucking hell, I'm yawning. So the umpire will throw it in now. Great play there from English. Just takes it out of the ruck. Kicks it long. Up goes Ugle-Hagan. Can't take it. Wilkie out the back does well. Clears it forward. Get a awkward bounce here from Butler and it rolls forward. Now Owens gives off the handball to Steele. He gives over the handball to Crouch. Crouch can kick it inside the forward 50 with a lead up. Great lead up there from Zane Cordy. So a couple of boos come out here as Zane Cordy has a chance to kick his first for the night. Anything happened to Mason Wood? No, I think he's alright. I haven't seen anything. So now a chance for Zane Cordy to kick his thirst tonight. Put the lead out a little bit further. Looks pretty good. Tight ropes the left goalpost, but goes through. And the Saints take it out to a 9-point lead. Great finish from Zane Cordy. And gets a big celebration from his teammates. Goal against his old side. Great finish. Scores are 7-4, 46 to the Saints. Lead by 9 against the Bulldogs, 5-7, 37. And we definitely have a ball game on our hands right now. Mason Woods had the 13 touches, 5 marks, 2 tackles. Currently on 52 ranked fantasy points, if you're interested in that. That's basically about it, man. He's not. I don't think he's been injured. Great play from the Saints in the end. It was a little bit scrappy at first, but then they worked it out wide to Brad Crouch with a nice little dinky kick inside the forward 50 to find Zane Cordy, who went back and kicked it. Meanwhile, in the other game, by the way, North Melbourne lead by 9 points, 33-24 over Fremantle at the moment, which is a shocker. Can't believe that, but anyway. Back in the middle of the ground, Brad Crouch gets the handball out to Steele, gets chased down by Bontempelli, has time to get rid of it. Marshall off to Wood, goes inside the forward 50. Not really looking at it there, Butler. Doesn't give away the free kick, though. Oh, no, he has given away. That was definitely a free kick. I don't know what he's arguing about. He wasn't looking at the footy whatsoever. You put Rowan Marshall or Ugle-Hagan, I'll put on a multi. It ain't coming up with anything for them. Marshall's probably played a little bit. He's had... How many touches has he had? He's had 12 touches. He's probably been He's been pretty good. I don't think Ugle-Hagan's kicked one yet, though, has he? No, he hasn't kicked one yet. I don't know, maybe why, but they're not injured. There hasn't been any injuries yet in this game. So Patton goes in short now. Mason Wood working on the outer side. Kicks it long to Philippou. Up goes Liam Jones and takes a terrific mark. So he goes backwards and nearly turns it over, Liam Jones. Does take the mark though, Ed Richards, and works it out wide to Keith. So the Bulldogs working it out to the commentary side now. Not the best kick from Keith, and he turns it over. Riley West. Could it be given away 50 then? It should have been. Not wasn't in the end. So now Wilkie works it inside, finds Stocker. I got them 3 to kick a goal at any time in the game. Just checked. Just thought to check to see if anything happened. No, not yet, man. Sebroth takes the mark and works it inside the forward 50. Up goes Philippou at the back. He takes the ball. Breaks past a couple of defenders. Great smother from Crozier. Came across and just blocked it. That would have been a certain goal to Philippou. Would have got his 4th, in fact. But a great smother just coming through there to stop a certain goal. All good, Mr. Clout, man. So now Bontempelli will come out of the stoppage. Can't gather, though. He fumbles it a couple of times. Owens with a good tackle. Somehow gets the handball away, Bontempelli. Now Keith kicks it clear. But only as far as the contest between Ugle-Hagan and the battle. Now Ugle-Hagan will pick it up off the ground. Can't gather. Oh, taken high there, Wilkie. The umpire missed it again. I don't know what... There's 4 of them out there, and that was a clear free kick. They've missed so many tonight. Far out, dude. But none of those 3 have got a goal tonight, so... For your sake, man, I hope they get one each later in this game. Bailey Smith will get out of the clearance, does well, kicks it forward, only as far as Wilkie, but good spoil from Norton from behind. Battle should run onto it, but it will trickle out of bounds. So we're on the 50-metre line here in the Bulldogs at the forward 50 with a stoppage to be a throw-in. Bulldogs, it definitely looks like a more contested game now. Umpire throws it in. English gets the tap out the back. McLean gets a nice little handle out to Bontempelli on his right foot. Goes towards the goal square. Goes out the back behind Dougal Howard and Darcy. Now they have some time through Mason Wood. In the back pocket, great kick finds Butler. What's Jade Gresham? Only got 6 disposals. Yeah, he had them early in the game too. He's hardly been cited since the first quarter. So now Butler goes in short with a nice kick. He finds Stocker, who's had a pretty good game so far for the Saints. He's been a good recruit for them. So Stocker kicks it long, 1-on-1, not the best kick. Goes out the back though. Now Higgins has some space. He can go over the top with a nice little short kick. Finds Kaminti. Now Kaminti now has some time. 55 metres out from goal. Drives it towards goal. It looks pretty good. It gets touched on the line though. Great play there from English. So another behind. So they lead by 10 now, the Saints. Now the Bulldogs out the back half with Caleb Daniel. Goes down the wing. It'll be a free kick to Aaron Norton downfield. He's actually got his calf strapped at the moment. I don't know if that's concerning or anything, but I don't think that's been there the whole game. So now Norton will kick it in short to Caleb Daniel. Shocking kick. Don't know why you go to Caleb Daniel in a marking contest. And taken well by Patton. Read that like a book. Works it inside with a brilliant kick. Finds Cordy. Now Cordy has some space here for the Dogs. Kicks a high one. Not the best kick. Butler can work onto it though. Has some space. Pushes past Baker. Kicks it inside the forward 50 with a check side kick to Gresham. He can't grab it. Now Owens tries to run onto Kaminti. Out to Gresham. Gets some space. Snaps on the right boot for the Saints. Goes towards goal. And gets taken on the line by Tim English. So English will go in short. He goes to Williams. So the Bulldogs just need to get a little bit of the ball now. They've been not dominated. They've been dominated in the past few minutes. The Saints have looked the better of the two sides. Williams looks to switch now. Goes across to English. Pretty good user for a ruckman, but he just goes in short now. Finds Crozier. He's got the overlap here with Bailey Smith. He's got a couple of options up forward Bailey Smith and goes longer. Finds Riley West. He's holding Stocker at the moment. He's still holding Stocker. Stocker works on well. Actually gets the handball out. Stocker did brilliantly there. I don't know what the umpire didn't pay that, but doesn't matter now. Now the Saints can work it forward. So now Cordy takes the mark. He's actually got a teammate over the top. Gives it. Now he's working forward. Brad Crouch has a chance. He runs to about 50 metres out. Kicks towards goal with a shocking kick. It goes up in the air. It's a one-on-one and Higgins gives away the free kick. Bruce will get the free kick in the back pocket here. Gives it short to Dre. He's had a few touches in this game, Dre. Ex-Hawthorn player. Goes in short to find Bailey Williams. So the Bulldogs working it slowly now. He has a short option here in Alex Keith. Decides not to go there. He goes long with the kick, Bailey Williams. So up goes Cordy. He gets pushed out of it. McLean can't gather. Patton. Now battle. Nice handball over to Zane Cordy. He tries to drill it inside, but diving mark by Caleb Daniel. Causes the turnover. He works it inside. Great kick. He'll find Liam Jones on the run. He's got someone coming from behind. Great tackle there from Dan Butler. And now the Saints can work it forward. Wangani Malera kicks it in short. Now Kaminti. He looks straight at goals. Goes towards goal. The crowd goes up. Kaminti kicks it. And the Saints take a lead by 16.
Great goal from the second gamer. Becoming a bit of a cult hero here for the Saints. And a great finish on the run. And the teammates get over to him. Great goal. Wearing the number 47. Maybe a few shirts sold in the 47 tonight after that goal. Brilliant finish. And with just over 8 minutes to go, the Saints have a 16-point lead and they're looking the goods at the moment. Liam Jones just running through the middle of the ground, had no awareness whatsoever, no cool of your hot, and then the Saints just quickly ran straight back down the other end. Short kick from Wangani Malera. Kaminti only had eyes for the goal and absolutely drilled it. So ball up again now. Darcy just jumps and pokes the eye out of Marshall and then asks why it was a free kick. So now Marshall will drill it long here for the Saints. It's a one-on-one here. Burns goes up, almost takes the mark. Goes to ground now. Baker gives the handball off to Keith. Back to Baker. Back to Bruce, who gets taken down by Owens. Handballs it towards the boundary. He could be in trouble here. And it is. It's deliberate. Tabner, Zerha, and Amos any good. I haven't really watched much of that game tonight. It'll be a free kick to... Jack Steele's got the mark, about 55 out from goal. But Marshall's coming off with a blood rule. So that's what happened here. And then Bruce gave away a free kick for deliberate out of bounds. Yeah, that was deliberate every day of the week. So Steele will be about 60 metres out from goal. Just kicks it towards the top of the goal square now. More to the forward pocket. It fades to. Up goes Mason Wood, who can't take it. And it runs out of bounds. So just over 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Saints lead by 16. They've been probably the better of the two sides in this third quarter. North Melbourne currently leading by 15 points over the Dockers in the other game. Daniel gets out the handball. McRae does well to give it to Jure, but gets tackled immediately by Ross. And he's working hard. It should be a ball up. It is. Still in the forward pocket here for the Saints. They like their repeated stoppages, the Saints, we've learned since Ross Lyon has taken back over as coach. So now the umpire will throw it up again. Free kick to the Saints. He had a hold of... That is terrible play by Sam Darcy. He may be a young guy, but he can't be holding... He had Mitch Owens as his ruck opponent, and he grabbed his shirt. He's a head taller than Mitch Owens, and he gives away a stupid free kick. So a free kick to Mitch Owens to send the lead back out to 22 points. Not a pretty difficult angle. Comes in though. And the quality of the kid kicks it home. The Saints have another. They lead by 22 points. Great kick from Owens. And the Saints kick their third of the second half. Back to their fourth. But great finish. So back in the middle now. Marshall gets the knockdown. Gets tackled well though by Liberatore there, Jade Gresham. It'll be another stoppage inside the centre. 21 minutes gone in this third term. Saints lead it by 22. Hunter Clark gets tackled well. He should be gone here. Somehow gets the handball out. Seal just a little tap on with his foot. Dale can't gather. Philippou does well. Holds himself up. Does well. Good tackle though from Crozier. Somehow bumbles out of there. Gresham just drags it forward. Now Dale ducks out of a tackle. Gives it to McRae. McRae out to Crozier, who gets tackled by Marshall. Great play. Now the Saints can work it forward. Cordy does well. Chips it inside the forward 50 and Gresham takes the mark. Great mark. Great play from the Saints. Great dogged football. And the Saints have a chance now to send it back out to 28 points. And are actually capitalising on their shots on goal at the moment.
Jade Gresham looks like he's going to go around the body, and he's about 45, 50 metres out. He's not going to make the distance. I don't know what he's thinking. Yeah, the Saints are kicking away again. We'll see what happens here. Gresham goes around the body. He hits the belly of the ball, which was always going to happen. Goes to the forward pocket. Higgins can't take the mark. Crozier runs through. Gets tackled. Be a ball up here. Forward pocket here for the Saints. Just over 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Bulldogs only have the 1 goal to show for it. The Saints have got 4. Back in the ruck, Cordy tries to knock it down. Good tackle on Liberatore. Caleb Daniel just has to kick it out of there. It's only gone to about 45 metres. Sinclair can't gather. Good tackle there from Burns on Scott. Takes him a bit high, but the umpire says otherwise. Looks like McComb here for the Bulldogs. The sub looks like he's about to come on for the first time. He's got his Guernsey on. He's ready to go. So back in the ruck, English knocks it down. Seb Ross does well. Gets the handball out wide. It's a good handball. Gresham's got a lot of space. On the right foot, chips it up to the top of the goal square, but only Bulldogs are there. Crozier fumbles though. Drops it in. It'll probably be another ball up, but 25 metres out from the Bulldogs goal. From the Saints goal. And it looks like Sam Darcy will actually be subbed out here. So Sam Darcy is out and has been replaced by Ryan McComb. Back in the ruck. Held there, Cordy. Umpire calls play on. Ross tries to give away the handball, but gets tackled well. It'll be another ball up. Another repeated stoppage inside the forward 50 for the Saints. So the Bulldogs are able to fight back from 32 points down midway through the second quarter to bring it back all the way to about only under a goal. And now they've been out again. Mason Wood snaps around the body. He's got it! Dogs are calling touch, but the Saints are... It's been called a goal. So that will be checked. I'll leave it for now. Actually, no, I'll change it just in case. So Josh Bruce has claimed that he touched it. This will definitely be checked as always, but I don't know. They're all going back to the middle now, so umpires are checking the mics just to see if checking their headset to see if it's been touched. We'll get the replay on the screen right now. The umpires are just waiting. Josh Bruce called immediately that he touched it. So it looks like the umpire's just going to bounce it, so it's been called a goal. English knocks it down only as far as Bontempelli. Can't get the handball over. Somehow gets a second handball there. Goes to Liberatore, who kicks it forward here for the Bulldogs. They need to get on the scoreboard now. It gets out the back. Sinclair's got some time. Just takes a bounce in the back 50 if you don't mind. Gives it off to Mason Wood. Good on his left foot. Drills it in short and finds Wanganeen Malira. Great hand. Great play. And this will be 50 metres. Toby McLean came off the mark when the umpire called him to stand. Like the rule or not, that's a 50-metre penalty every day. So now Wanganeen Malira. He's about two kicks away from goal. Gives off the handball. He finds Jack Sinclair, who dips it in short. A great kick. Finds Zane Cordy. And this is a chance to send it out to the highest lead of the game in 34 points. After the Dogs came back late in that second term, people thought this game was going to have a little bit of spice to it. But now the Dogs have just stopped again. Pretty poor defensive play there. Zane Cordy found himself all on his own about 45 metres out from goal. He lines up now to kick his second. Looks pretty good. Zane Cordy's kicked it. And the Saints take a massive lead. Great finish from Zane Cordy. They lead now by 34 points. Great finish from Cordy. The Bulldogs have just stopped again. Strange game of football at the moment. But they lead by 34 here, the Saints, and they're looking the goods at the moment. So now Ross Lyon on the phone, probably just congratulating him on the goal. I know he wouldn't be, but still. North Melbourne currently lead by 9 points over the Dockers over in Perth. So that's a massive game at the moment if North Melbourne somehow win that one. But the Saints have kicked their last 5 goals of this game to send it back out to a 34-point lead. Now out of the middle, McRae gives it off to English, who fumbles. Just gets the handball away out wide. McComb leaves it for Williams, who gets taken out of it. Does well there, the Saints. Now Sinclair over the top. He finds Brad Hill. Been a little bit quieter in the second half. He had a good first half. Goes over the top trying to find Brad Crouch, but a poor kick. Turns it over to Crozier. He's got Bontempelli in the middle of the ground. Pretty dangerous kick, to be honest, but he does take the mark. Good mark from Bontempelli. He goes immediately out wide to Oscar Baker. Great kick. He has Bailey Smith over the top. Decides to handball, so he has to wait for it. Smith just chips it inside. He's trying to look for Toby McLean, who takes it. Great mark. Now they've got a bit of time. Toby McLean gives it off to Baker. Sprints inside the forward 50. Goes towards goal. He's just missed. That would have been a big goal heading into the three-quarter time. Just goes to the left. So now the Saints working it out the back half. Josh Battle takes the mark. Goes in short. He finds Dougal Howard now. So now the Saints just playing a little bit of tempo football. Soccer out wide to Wilkie. And now the Saints have a bit of space on the outer side. Wilkie takes a bounce. He goes in with a nice looking kick to Mason Wood. They've got a little bit of overlap here, the Saints. He goes over the top. He finds Owens. Oh, a little bit of, may have been given away 50. Umpire doesn't pay it. Marshall, great leading mark. It's about 55 out from goal. Got the ear strapped up now. And Marshall points towards the goal. I don't know if he's got this distance in him. It's a pretty long kick. Don't know why he even indicated it, because now he's gone in short. Finds Hunter Clark. Hunter Clark wheeled around. Now looks like they're going to be going around the border of the 50. Dougal Howard lines up. Goes from 60 metres out. Kicks it up towards the top of the 50. Oh, nearly Cominti. Gets back onto it. Gets out the handball. Gresham. Now Marshall. Now Brad Hill. Has some space. Kicks it towards goal with the snapping ball. English drops it. Higgins on the ground. Looks like English has got the free kick. Higgins has had a bit of an off night tonight. So English got the free kick in the defensive goal square. Kicks it short to find Duray. Only just over a minute to go in this third term. Saints have the biggest lead they've had all night. Duray goes long with the kick. Up goes Marshall. Great mark. Right in front of McRae. He goes on quickly. Finds Jack Steele. Great play from Bontempelli diving across to spoil it. Only goes as far as Sinclair. Howard goes forward. Great kick. Finds Brad Crouch. They've got some space up forward here, the Saints. He's got about 50 seconds to go. Brad Crouch picks the right option. Not a good kick, though. Keith gets there, does well. Burns breaks three of the Saints. Gives out the handball. Gresham. Little underhanded job to Crouch. Now Clark. Great handball to Stocker. Can't get onto it, though. Marshall goes down. Gets tackled without it from McComb. Umpire calls play on. And now the Dogs can go. Bontempelli over to McRae. Doesn't have much up forward, so he gives out a lateral handball. Finds Ugle-Hagan, who gets taken from behind and gone. Great job from the Saints. Now they work it forward. They take the advantage. Probably not to their advantage, though. Gets it in front of McRae and takes it out of bounds. 20 seconds to go in this third term. Luke Beveridge storming down to the bench now. Not too impressed. Ross Lyons looking a little bit more happier, but I don't think Ross Lyons ever looked that happy in his life. Out goes the ruck. Marshall takes it out of there. Kicks it away. Good effort from him in the end. There's a chance in the air. Up goes the Saints players. Now Steele gets it on the ground. Hunter Clark kicks it towards the forward 50. Out the back. Higgins can't get there. Keith will get onto it. And he just keeps it in front of him. Alex Keith. He gets tackled well by Jack Higgins. Taken out of bounds. And at three-quarter time, the Saints have a massive 33-point lead. They lead 11-5-71 to the Bulldogs 5-8-38. Great play from the Saints in that third term. They silenced the doubters really quickly. Led by their captain in Jack Steele. And now we'll take a look at the statistics quickly. How's the wow factor in that? Alright, I got them now. Toyota. Alright, so there are statistics of the three-quarter time, guys. Top disposal getters on the ground. Jack Steele leads all comers with the 23 touches. Had a brilliant game, probably best on ground for the Saints. Mason Wood comes up next with the 22 touches. And then the Bulldogs, Liberatore and Bontempelli with 21. And then Bailey Smith rounds out the top 5 with 20. And then the best fantasy scorers, we have Jack Steele with the 95. Tim English with 93. Brad Crouch with 91. Mason Wood with 86. And then Rowan Marshall takes out the top 5 with 84. Let's just check the other game quickly. Kilda are better. They're doing good at the moment. So North Melbourne actually lead by 8 points in this game. 5 minutes to go in the third term. Sheasel leads all comers in AFL fantasy. How the fuck? This kid's insane. I guess he's playing for North Melbourne, so I mean it's not very hard to be the best player there, but still. Thank you for being a friend. Maybe we should watch the other game for the game of the round. For tonight's stream. Fucking hell. So now North Melbourne will be getting the clearance inside the forward 50. Zerha kicks it forward. Now, good handball from Shields off to Zerha. Breaks one tackle. Gives out the handball. He finds Sheasel, who goes inside the forward 50 and turns it over. Actually a pretty big crowd there for a game with North Melbourne. I mean, Dockers always get a pretty decent crowd there, but still. Jesus Christ, Harry Sheasels already got 100 in fantasy. Far out. Harry Sheasels got a nice tan. He's got a nice tan. So a free kick for Daniel Howe for North Melbourne. 2.5 minutes to go in the third term of this game. Ugh. Oh, fucking idiot. So three-quarter time, Saints lead by 33 points and are definitely being the better of the two sides tonight. The only time the Bulldogs have looked good is probably 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. So the Bulldogs, fancied as one of the almost the premiership contenders by a lot of people, including myself. I thought they've got the list now; they could take it on and actually challenge for a flag. And they may lose their first two goals. They may lose their first 2 games of the season. Just subscribed. Oh, cheers, Alan. Appreciate that.
Last quarter is about to get underway. Umpire thumps it down. Marshall out of the ruck, taps it down. Ross gets over it. English takes him almost high. Nothing doing. Now Bontempelli tries to break out of there and gets taken down by Marshall. So currently in the other game, North Melbourne lead by 9 points over the Dockers late in the third quarter. Marshall knocks it down. Crouch gets the handball out of there somehow. Over to Ross, but only can kick it as far as Alex Keith, who gets back. Does well in the end. Now, if the Bulldogs want to somehow get back in this game, they need to score a goal early. So he goes out wide and switches it to Josh Bruce. They've done this a few times tonight, the Bulldogs, with not much effect. Ed Richards, now on the wing, kicks it long to a contest. Dougal Howard goes up, only spoils it as far as Brad Hill, who gets it knocked away by Anthony Scott. Now McRae tries to break through. Oh, in fact, it's McComb. It'll be a ball up. Forward flank, about 50 out from the Bulldogs' goal. Umpire will throw this up. Darcy was the subbed player out for the Bulldogs. He was replaced by McComb. Umpire throws it up. Marshall tries to knock it down. Norton can't gather. McRae gets taken high. Marshall takes him down very well. Hunter Clark gets tackled by two Bulldogs. Another stoppage. We saw a lot of stoppages tonight. The Saints have been the main contributor of that. A little bit of Ross line defensive attributes coming into play there. So thrown up again. Norton knocks it down only as far as Howard, who can't gather. Scott. Now Bontempelli just kicks it up into the air. And it will land in the arms of Bailey Williams up forward. Haven't seen this very often, but Bailey Williams takes the mark about 35 metres out, directly in front. And this would actually be a great start for the Bulldogs in the final term. They've kicked 5 goals 8 tonight, so they haven't kicked straight. But this is a big opportunity. Basically straight in front Bailey Williams. Always a good field kick, Bailey Williams, but is he good in front of goal? He comes in now to kick the first for the last. He shanks it to the right, and it will scrape through for a behind. Poor kick there from Bailey Williams, but he is a defender, so you can't really expect a lot from him. But that would have been the perfect start for the Bulldogs. For an experienced player like Bailey Williams, he needed to go back and kick that. But the Saints come out now through Jack Sinclair. He goes to Wilkie. 3/4 time in the other game, North Melbourne lead by 10 points over Fremantle, 54-44. Now Dougal Howard has the ball, and looks like they're going to switch it to the Saints. Great kick. He finds Brad Hill, who marked that. Now breaks away from McRae. He's working down the wing now. Not the best kick. Liam Jones gets there, gets a touch onto it, gets out the back. Now Jeray. Cool, calm, and collected, does well. Goes through to Jones, who goes inside. Bailey Smith goes up and gets tunneled, so he'll get the free kick in the middle. It looks like the Saints may be making a sub soon as well. Cominti comes from behind Daniel, but Daniel kicks it forward. Norton against 3 does well, brings it to ground. Wanganeen Miller just gets tackled and it'll be a ball up. 2 Saints are down at the moment. Wilkie's just getting up now, but Dougal Howard isn't looking the best at the moment. He's not looking that good at all, Dougal Howard. He gets up now. It's got a knee to his back, it seems. But now back in the stoppage. Marshall knocks it down. Crouch tries to grab it. Eventually kicks it away. Back into the middle of the ground. Cominti tries to block it, but he can't. Bruce, English, McRae gives off the handball now to Liberatore. Now to Jeray over the top. Good handball to Scott. He just bombs it towards the top of the 50. Not the best kick, and diving mark by Battle, and he calls to stop. Good mark from Battle there. The Saints, 3 minutes gone in this final turn. The Bulldogs definitely look like they're trying to get some run into this game, but the Saints are holding strong at the moment. So Jack Sinclair on the outer wing. Great kick finds Zane Cordy. He's got a couple of teammates for handball options. Instead, kicks it in short. He finds Hunter Clark. Now Clark, good kick forward. He finds Gresham. He's got Marshall running beside him. Probably best not to handball to the ruckman on the run. So now Gresham drills a kick in short. It's not the best kick. Bruce takes the mark. So now Bruce goes in short to Keith. The Bulldogs need to get an early one here. Already 3.5 minutes gone in this final term. So they've still got some time, the Bulldogs, but they've got to move now. Good kick from Caleb Daniel. He finds Smith. He's got a couple of options in the middle, but it would be very dangerous to go there. He's still looking. So now Smith kicks it wide. Great kick in the end. Finds Jeray. So now Jeray works it forward. It's a shocking kick. It's been the story of most of their night, the Bulldogs. He just kicks it straight to Brad Hill, and now the Saints can rebound. Sinclair kicks it to Cominti. Great mark.
Looks to go forward, but just decides to hold it up. Umpire calls play on. Finally, Bruce comes towards him. Community takes some time. Back out to Patton, and he goes in short. He finds Sinclair. So the Saints just look composed at the moment. Don't see any sort of stress in this game. And the Bulldogs really aren't piling on much pressure at all. Gresham takes the mark now, about 80 out from goal. He's got a couple of options inboard, but decides to go longer. Up goes Liam Jones in front, can't take the mark. Now at the back, Brad Hill looks inside for a good kick, and Mason Wood takes a diving mark. Great mark from Mason Wood. His career has been rejuvenated since he's joined in the Saints from North Melbourne. Become a wingman, and he's been a great player. He's done well there. He takes the mark just basically straight in front of goal, 35 metres out. Meanwhile, Jack Steele's just came up from the bench. He looks okay. He doesn't look like to be the sub player at the moment. But now, Mason Wood. To kick probably the Saints home here. This would send it out to a 38-point lead. Mason Wood comes in, kicks on goal, and leaves it out to the left. So he leaves the door ajar here for the Bulldogs. So Jack Steele's all good. He's back on the ground. 33-point lead at the moment. Crozier goes in short and finds Jones. So now Jones kicks it long. Not a good kick. It looks like it's going to go out in the full. Anthony Scott does well to keep it in for momentarily, and it goes out of bounds. So it looks like now that actually Burns is going to be the sub player out for the Saints. And now Windhager is getting ready to jump on the ground here for the Saints. Was surprised he was left as a sub tonight. If he was fit, he is definitely part of this 22 team in the 22, I believe. But now the Saints can work it through the middle. Jack Steele kicks it inside the forward 50. Jay Gresham's not looking at the football. It'll be a free kick to Crozier. Crozier tries to work it out wide. Now the Bulldogs need a move. Good mark, takes by Bailey Dale. He kicks it out wide. It's a great kick. He finds Oscar Baker, and again, he just runs back over the mark. Feels like the Bulldogs need to move it a lot quicker than this. He works it in short. He finds Ed Richards. Now the Bulldogs work it inside. It's a decent kick, but goes over the top of McLean. He can't gather. Patton. Now Clark over to Sinclair. The Saints just working it with small handballs through the middle of the ground. Owens has all the time in the world. Gives it off to Patton. Really has not much pressure on him either. So he works it out wide to Brad Hill. He'll get it on the bounce. He's got a couple of options, Brad Hill, and he goes in short. Great kick. So now the Saints just work short. Kick over the top. Gresham gets on the end of it. 55 metres out from goal. Sets it up to the top of the goal square. 2-on-1 for the Saints. He can't get there, Butler. Mason Wood dribbles it towards goal. Hits the post. Well, he's had two chances now to send the Bulldogs packing. And he's missed them both. That was a little bit harder. He got tackled as he kicked it. But could have been a goal to finish it. So they lead by 34 points. Now the Bulldogs are moving. English gives it off to McRae. McRae goes through the middle of the ground. Again, not a very good kick. Hagen gets it on the bounce. Garcia goes back to Bailey Smith. Now back to Garcia. Garcia goes in short. Great kick. Finds McLean. He's got a free man in the pocket. He goes over the top. It's not a good kick. Does well there, Dougal Howard, to get across and knock it out of bounds. Great play from the Saints. Great scrambling defence. And 13 minutes to go. The Saints leading by 34 points and are looking the goods at the moment. Norton gets the big tap out there, but only as far as Sinclair. He gets on top of it, just taps it out. Now gets to Crouch. Crouch back behind Hunter Clark. Not a good handball. Gets tackled without it there, Marcus Bontempelli. Umpire doesn't pay it. So now Steele has time. Kicks it indoors. Not the best kick. Now Higgins tries to grab it. He doesn't in the end. McLean does poorly in the end. Probably should have grabbed it. Gresham gets tackled by two players. Almost tripped. And now it gets taken down to be a ball up. 12.5 minutes to go now. Saints are looking the goods at the moment. One more goal would seal it. Bulldogs still yet to score a goal. Really, the Bulldogs have kicked 4 goals in 10 minutes. And the rest of the game, they've kicked 1. The ball goes up in the air by English. Can't gather their community. Saps it forward. Now Crozier out to Dale. Dale's got a couple of options inboard. It's a dangerous kick. Scott and Hill in a one-on-one. Patton comes across, does well. Great tackle from Anthony Scott. If that got out, the Saints were away. A little bit of a team-lifting tackle, that one. So the ball goes up again now. Marshall knocks it down. Oh, kicks it away as well. He hit it out to himself. Oh, up goes Crozier. Can't take the mark. Bailey Dale's got some room. Gives a handball forward to no one in particular. Now the Saints can go through Hunter Clark, Windhager, Steele, and now Sinclair streaming through the middle. Nice short kick. He finds Hunter Clark. He's got some time. He works it inside. Windhager should take the mark and does. Takes a little bit of body contact. Gives the handball to Brad Crouch to ice the game for the Saints. Brad Crouch kicks towards goal. It's just fading right. Oh, Butler can't mark it. Almost a chance there to kick it off the ground, but it rolls through for a behind for the Saints. The Saints are heating on the heels of the Dogs now. They want to get this goal to seal the game. So now Norton takes the mark. Back half of the wing. He goes up the ground. Good kick. He finds Ugle-Hagan, who can't mark. Sinclair gathers, does well. Short kick to Brad Hill. He's got a couple of options inside. He's got Brad Crouch all on his own, screaming for it. He decides to just work it down the line with a brilliant kick over the top, though, of Owens. It will roll forward. Kaminti can run onto it, just out of bounds. So, just inside the forward 50 here for the Saints. They lead by 35 at the moment. The Bulldogs have only had a 10-minute burst of 4 goals. And other than that, in this whole entire game, they've kicked 1 goal. It's really been a shocking performance by the Bulldogs. The Saints have played brilliantly, though. And if they continue this sort of form, they should be able to go 2-0, which I don't think anyone saw the Saints going 2-0 early in the season. So Ed Richards gets the clearance now. Marshall's out the back. He can't get there. Wilkie gets tackled without handballing it. Should have been holding the ball. Umpire calls nothing. He just calls it for all. Play on. Dougal Howard goes back with it. Can't take it. Sinclair gets tackled. Looks like it'll be a free kick. Advantage is paid, but not to the advantage of the Saints. Terrible kick by the Saints. And now Garcia causes the turnover. Goes inside the forward 50 and Ugle-Hagan will mark. Usually a pretty reliable kick, Jamara Ugle-Hagan. And he needs to go back and slot this one in for the Bulldogs for any sort of chance to win this game. They are 6 goals behind at the moment. There's 10 minutes. There's still a bit of time left, but they've got to start here. Just in the other game, North Melbourne lead by 16 points, 60-44 over the Dockers over in Perth. Be a massive win if North Melbourne could win that one. Terrible play by the Saints. Causes a turnover. Ugle-Hagan goes towards goal. Touched on the line by Marshall. That was a goal if it was any other player on the ground on that line there for the Saints. Great job. Gets a hand on it. And another behind to the Bulldogs. They've wasted some opportunities. You know, the Saints work it out the back half through Marsh over to Dougal Howard. Now Stocker. Had a brilliant first quarter, Liam Stocker. It's been a bit quiet since then. He goes in short and he finds Howard again. He go back to Stocker. He's all on his own. He does. He's racking up a couple of disposals now to the defenders. It looks like the Bulldogs are not willing to man up. This is not good enough here from an AFL side. So the Saints will work through the middle of the ground. Seb Ross. Now Marshall. And the Bulldogs still haven't manned up. Now Seb Ross streaming through the middle of the ground. He's got a lot of space to kick inside the 450s. It's 2-on-1 here for the Saints. And Owens takes it. Great mark. He had 3 grabs at that one, Mitch Owens. And he eventually takes it. And a great mark there from Owens. And now has a chance for the young man to kick the Saints home here and send it out to a 40-point lead. Bulldogs fans in the background aren't impressed with that play, and I wasn't either. There was 2-on-1 inside the forward 50 with a slow build-up there from the Saints. But now Owens, to send the Saints home, he comes in, kicks on goal, just sneaks it in, and the Saints take it out to a 40-point lead. Great finish from Owens. Saints now looking like they're going to go 2-0 now. Great finish. 40-point lead. Saints lead 12-8-80 to the Bulldogs 5-10-40. Huge lead at the moment. In the other game as well, North Melbourne actually lead as well still. They've been leading all night tonight. Let me have a look. They lead 61-45 at the moment.
So now we're back in the middle again. English gets the tap. Nice tap down. He hits it to Marcus Bontempelli on the run. He kicks it inside the forward 50. Just over the top of McComb. Ugle-Hagan overruns it. Now McComb runs onto it. Great tackle from Wilkie. That should be holding the ball. For some reason, the umpire doesn't pay it. I don't know why. There was no disposal of that at all. Ross keeps it in. Only temporarily, though. Gets knocked out of bounds. And the Bulldogs just look out of touch at the moment. So the Saints, with all the injuries they have, they look like they're going to go 2-0, would be massive for the side. Massive team lifter going in early in the season. Seb Ross gets tackled, but does well. Wanganeen Malira clears it out here for the Saints. A couple of Bulldogs go up, gets pushed out there, Community. Umpire doesn't play it. Now Jones knocks it back to Bruce, who handballs it backwards to his own detriment, really. Riley West hasn't really had that good a night tonight. He can't get rid of it. Now Owens gets taken down by Bruce. It'll be a ball up. So up it goes again. English can't get the tap. Does well there, Cordy. Now Liberatore gets at the handball to Bailey Smith, who kicks it long. Pretty nice kick. Does well in the end, Bontempelli in front. Now he can work it inside the forward 50. The leading up, Jamara Ugle-Hagan with a brilliant kick. He almost was shocked that it hit him on the chest. He drops to the mark. Garcia has his head down. Doesn't get the free kick and gets taken out of bounds. Great tackle from Stocker. The umpire throws it in now. English taps it out the back. It's cleared out well by, I think it was Steele. Now Community just gets taken out of bounds there by Bailey Smith. Saints are looking goods at the moment. They're playing really good football. Liberatore tries to get the clearance. He can't get there. Crouch just streams through. He can't get it out. So now Ed Richards just pumps it forward. Gets tapped over the top. McComb grabs it. Does well in the end. Gets out the handball to Garcia. Garcia to Bailey Dale, who gets tackled well by Higgins. He just gets the kick away. Now Wanganeen Malira does well. Oh, bad handball there. But now the Saints can work it out the back. Wilkie grabs it well to Dougal Howard. Back to Wilkie. And now he kicks it long. I think it was touched off the boot. It was. Now Crozier picks it up. Gets tackled well by Winhager. Now DeRay. Be a free kick to the Bulldogs. So Crozier gets the free kick. So a free kick now going to Crozier to kick a goal for the Bulldogs. First of the last quarter, he kicks on goal and he's dragged it right. Another behind to the Bulldogs. They haven't kicked straight at all tonight either. And Luke Beveridge has some questions to answer. I think his job's a bit under pressure, Luke Beveridge, at the moment. He's got the list. He's got everything that he needs to take this team to a premiership. And they just can't. And they're going to go down to 0-2 now. At least 1-1 at the moment they should be. Daniel goes inside with a nice kick to Dale. He just bounces in front of him. Dale tries to get onto it. Gets his hands up, which is a good job. Good tackle from Higgins. Gets out the handball, though, to English. English kicks it inside. It's another turnover. Patton takes the mark. Just under 6 minutes to play in this game. So now Patton goes nice kick to Gresham, who's got a couple of touches late in this game. So now the Saints just going to play a little bit slow football here. Good kick over the top. He finds Brad Hill. So the Saints will win this game and they'll go to 2-0. A brilliant start. I bet your Saints fans would be dreaming of this start so far. Had a hard game against Fremantle last week. Everyone thought Fremantle were going to take that one home. The Saints prevailed. And now the Bulldogs, one of the premiership favoured teams, has been demolished by the Saints tonight. If it wasn't for a rush of 15 minutes that the Bulldogs had in the second quarter, this game could have been an absolute disaster. Good kick. He finds Kaminski just outside the forward 50.
And a free kick down the field. 50 metres to Kaminti. So Kaminti will get the free kick. It's a 50-metre penalty. I don't know what it was for. So Kaminti now to kick his second and really pump home the Saints win. He'll come in on goal here. Takes a deep breath. Couldn't have dreamed for a perfect couple of games that he's had, Kaminti. He comes in to kick his second, straight through the middle. And the Saints are running rampant here at Marvel Stadium. Great finish. The Saints have a 45-point lead at the moment. They couldn't have dreamed of this start to the season, the Saints. They've played brilliant footy so far. With all the injuries they've had, they're performing some brilliant football so far. They got no forward line of Max King and Tim Membry. That was their tall forward line for at least the last 3 seasons. They took them to a final series 3 years ago, and they've had neither of those two to start the season. And suddenly, a player who they picked up 6 weeks before the season began in Kaminti is starting to kick goals for them. Brilliant start. And Zane Cordy has been their forward as well. So back in the middle now. Ugelhagen knocks it down. The umpire will call for it back. Can you believe this performance from the Saints? They've played some brilliant footy tonight. Umpire knocks it down again. Marshall gets the tap down to Ross, who gets the clearance forward. Just punched away there from Keith. Caleb Daniel runs onto it. He actually does pretty well. Now Jure. He's got some space here on the outer wing. He's got a couple of options to go to. He decides to go to Ed Richards. Good kick. Goes in short now and finds Oscar Baker, who's dropped an absolute sitter. Terrible night for the Bulldogs. So the Bulldogs next week come up against the Bombers. Now, the Bombers won in round 1. I think they can win in round 2 against the Gold Coast. So, you'd expect the Bulldogs to go and win that game. But if they play like this, when they show up for 11 minutes of game time, they'll go 9-3 of the Bulldogs. So a long kick down the line. No one can gather. Now Keith just taps it in front of himself, not wanting to get tackled. Now he kicks it away. Right down the wing. Liberatore sits under it and gets a sport away from Ross. 3.5 minutes to go. So knocked it down here, Ugelhagen. Ross, good tackle on Ed Richards. He just dropped that. Liberatore gets it out to Smith. Now Smith out to McRae. Back to Smith. They can work it forward now, the Bulldogs. He goes inside the forward 50 to Norton, who can't take the mark. McComb tries to gather. He does well in the end. Gives it off to Smith, third touch in the chain. Now McComb inside the pocket. Goes short to Norton. Gets the sport away. Sinclair. Clark gets tackled well by McLean. Somehow gets out the handball. Stocker. Now Wanganeen Malira. Sprinting through the middle of the ground. Goes in short. Got pushed there, Kaminti. He'll get the free kick. So it goes in short, finds Sinclair. Now Marshall over the top. Great handball, finds Seb Ross. Now Seb Ross has some options inside the forward 50. He goes to the pocket. Oh, Jack Higgins sport his own man there. Winhager gets out the handball just. Now Sinclair, he's got some options, just tries to sprint through all the defenders of the Bulldogs, handballs it forward, and Bailey Dale just runs that out. So Jack Higgins probably been the least performing player for the Saints tonight. Hasn't kicked the goals, hardly touched it, to be honest. But other than that, the Saints have had a massive performance tonight. Currently, North Melbourne lead by 14 points over Fremantle in the last quarter. Owens in the ruck just knocks his opponent out of the way. Now McRae over the top to Jure. McRae will get the free kick. Gives out the handball. Short little kick to Williams. So 2 minutes to go in this game. 2 minutes more of torture for the Bulldogs. Will they be able to turn it around next week? Well, I don't know. I'd probably be picking them. But really, they haven't shown much this season to prove why they deserve to be picked next week. They've been one of the least performing teams so far in this season. Knocks it down, Norton. Gives out the handball. Good handball to Oscar Baker. From the pocket. Doesn't have many options. Just kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Gets a nice looking bounce. Ed Richards smacks it into the head of Brad Hill. Now on the ricochet gets to Dougal Howard. So back to Hill. Now over to Ross. Ross got a couple of options inside. Wanganeen Malira finds Brad Crouch. Brad Crouch goes in short and he finds Gresham. So a minute and a half now, the Saints. They've played brilliant football tonight. Ross. Back to Hunter Clark. He goes into Wilkie. Wilkie's got a couple of options. One is Sinclair. He's had a brilliant night again tonight. Backing up his All-Australian year last year. He goes in short to find Stocker. He's been a brilliant inclusion since he's joined from Carlton. So Stocker kicks it long now. Only as far as English, who causes the turnover. Gives off the handball nicely. Finds Daniel. Daniel goes over the top. Gets tacked away there from Garcia. McComb over to McRae, back to McLean, back to McRae, who gives the handball. Just a shocker in the end, to be honest. Crouch. Now Owens can work it forward here for the Saints. Get a late one here. Put some icing on the cake. Hunter Clark's got some time. Breaks the tackle. Back to Owens. Over to Philippou. The Saints are just messing with him now. Butler. He's got some time. Kicks it over the top. It's a 2-on-1 here. The Saints, they didn't talk. He got taken high. Jade Gresham. Great play there from the Saints. And Gresham snaps it over the shoulder and kicks them home. Saints have had a brilliant performance tonight. They'll go home with a plus 50-point win. And that means the Bulldogs will go home with two games in a row with 8 goal plus deficits. Who would have seen this coming? So the Saints now looking the goods. 10 seconds to go in this game. Saints have played brilliantly tonight. Philippou started the game off brilliantly. He's got 3 goals tonight. Kaminti's played well. He's got 2. Jack Steele's played brilliantly in the middle. Probably been best on ground for the Saints. Jack Sinclair's played brilliantly as well for the Saints. There's a number of players who could take out the top 3. Knocks it down there, Zane Cordy. Gets the clearance there, Bailey Smith. Only go as far as Hunter Clark. Now, McRae runs onto it. It'll roll out. And that will be it. Great win from the Saints. They take themselves to 2-0 and leave the Dogs in their wake. Great finish from the Saints. They take home the win. 14-8-92. So the Bulldogs 5-11-41. Can you believe it? What a terrible performance by the fucking... And North Melbourne are going to go and win this game too. They're up by 20 points now with 6.5 minutes to go. Can you fucking believe it? What a couple of upsets here in the last couple of games on Saturday night. Can you believe it? Alright guys, I'll end the stream there for now. Thanks for watching today. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok as well as Facebook if you haven't already as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and that's all from me, so goodbye.